Welcome, everybody, to We Geek Podcast. Today is September 19th, 2018, episode 150, the Mewtwo of the podcast. My name is Adam, joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, man? How's your week been?
It's been good. I finally had 2 days off in a row for the first time since I can't even remember when.
What did you do with yourself?
I watched a lot of movies.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. Yeah, we'll dive into that. What movies did you see?
I saw The Meg, I saw Mission Impossible Fallout, I saw Hotel Transylvania 3, I saw The First Purge, and I saw The Predator.
Damn. Did you just, post up in the theater?
Yes, I did.
Oh, wow.
I don't
awesome.
think any...
Predator's out, that's right.
Yeah, that was the one that I went to see, and then I guess... everybody kind of forgot that I was there, so I was just like, hang on, let me grab a sheet off the podium here and go, I'll probably get in trouble for this, but I don't care, we weren't busy. I planned it out.
Awesome.
I had seen bits and pieces of some of these movies just kind of as a job hazard, so I was like, oh, wait, okay, I've missed, the first couple, I think I missed the first, few minutes of Mission Impossible, but I kind of doubled back on my way out and was like, oh, okay, so I got it, all right.
Yeah.
So, it was fun. It was a good time. So.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, well, I want to see Predators. I think I was turned off last week when I opened up the Movie Pass app, and I didn't see anything interesting. And I thought today, I was like, well, I should open that up. But then I was like, I didn't remember seeing any good movies, and I should have done that because I do want to see Predator.
Yeah, Predator was enjoyable. This is one of those movies that man, talking about it at work, there is a big split. It's either, it was great because I came out of it and I was like, you know what, I kind of liked it. It was better than I thought it was going to be. And so I enjoyed it. It's by no means some kind of classic. It's one that if you miss it, I don't think you're missing a whole lot. But
right.
It's a fun go in.
But it wasn't bad.
No, it wasn't bad. Go in, turn your brain off kind of movie, which I'm fine with.
That's Predator. That's what I expect.
Exactly. And that's what you're gonna get. That's
what I'm in the mood for.
But at work it's two camps. I'm in that camp of you know what, it was fun. I liked it. It wasn't great, but it wasn't awful. And then there's the other camp of, oh my god, that movie was so stupid. And,
expecting Shawshank Redemption? Let me ask you, did those same people praise The Meg?
You know what, I don't know, actually. I would be inclined to think yes, and I would see their point. Because there's really no story to The Meg. Which is fine. It completely fits in with that. Predator does try to, they did make a good point on that side to say they do try to cram in plot.
Yeah.
And it's okay, I get what they're saying, but I don't think it's some awful, horrible thing. I don't think it's oh my god, it ruined the movie because they tried to have plot. I don't, to me, I just thought, whatever, okay. I didn't really care. I wasn't interested in the plot. I didn't go see a Predator movie for the plot. I went to see a bunch of people chased by a predator. Right.
The movie looks like some people who were in jail at some point in time get attacked by a predator that escaped from a facility that is also being chased down by a super predator, and all hell breaks loose. And that's all I know about the movie, and that just sounds like fun.
Yeah, and really that's the movie.
I'm sure there'll be tie-ins probably to the past movies for people who've seen them. Maybe hints. Don't say anything. But
I won't.
I'm assuming maybe there's Easter eggs or something like that, and that's the kind of stuff I'm excited about.
Yeah. don't. I'll say this: don't go in with like big expectations. It's more wink and a nod stuff. It's like, I see what they did there. Haha.
Right. I don't think this is gonna be, like, I don't know, so, like the Marvel movies where like it's all tied in or whatever. It just, I imagine it's some point in time in that universe, and there might be a hint and a nod. That's it.
There are a couple of them, and I like them, and I like the way they were done. They're a little groan inducing at the one in particular, but it's in a good way. I liked it. If you've got 2 hours, because it's not even a long movie, which I think it benefits from. I liked it. It was fun. It was fairly simple. You can just ignore, because they do kind of explain why do the predators keep coming here. You can completely ignore that if you want. It really has no bearing on what's happening. Which was one of the big complaints that I heard, and I was like, yeah, but I don't care. It doesn't get in the way of the movie.
Right.
And that's why I was just like, yeah, whatever. It's a thing. I don't care. Like, it had no impact on it at all. So I was good with that. I liked it. It was good. But yeah, the Meg was definitely more in that vein of, look, we're scientists, we screwed around, oh crap, ridiculously giant shark, Jason Statham, please help us. That's the movie. That's it.
All right.
And so that's what you go in there to see. Mission Impossible was interesting because I forgot that these, like from Mission Impossible 3 up through Fallout, they all tie together. And I had forgotten that. Like there was a common thread besides just Ethan throughout all of these movies, and I had kind of forgotten that.
Well, he uses that same crew.
Yeah, he uses, especially at 3, because that's when Simon Pegg joins in. I mean, Ving Rhames was there from the first one, which is awesome, and I love him. But Simon Pegg joins in 3, and they're all kind of together, and there's some tie-ins and some callbacks, and this one was really well structured, and it was tremendously well written. So I was, if you're a fan, I think you'll get, if you're somebody who's like, I want to go see this, I think you'll get more out of it if you've seen the last couple.
I just forgot I know I enjoyed 3 on.
Yeah.
But I could not tell you a single thing about the plot of those.
Yeah,
except that he saves the day.
Pretty much.
Most of them.
They're kind of Bond movies in that way. And I don't mean that in a derogatory fashion, because I know the crap I'm going to get for saying that. Bond movies have iconic villains. Okay, name me more than 3.
Right.
Well, there's Blofeld. Okay, it's 1. There's Scaramanga and Oddjob. Okay, it's 3. Who else you got? Jaws. All right, 4. You got 4. What else?
It also helps that it had a video game that everyone our age played.
Right, exactly. So you know.
I couldn't tell you half of those if it wasn't for that video game, because I saw the movie, in the 90s, and I saw it twice maybe.
Yeah.
If that. I could give you Austin Powers quotes probably before I could be Bond.
Yeah. But I mean that's the thing. It's a different it is very much kind of like an American version of Bond. And they've kind of they've embraced it in a way, because I mean the stunts just get more and more ridiculous. But they're I enjoyed it. I liked it. I think it's a movie that you can go. They give you enough backstory in the movie so that when there are certain things that happen that call back to earlier movies, you're like, oh wait, they talked about that, so I get that this is a big deal. It's just, I think you get a little more, just a little extra punch if you're familiar with the previous films.
Yeah, I need to check it out. Man, what other movies did you say you saw?
Saw Hotel Transylvania 3, which was fun. It was a fun little kids movie, and it was a good way to just kind of say, yeah, the first one was interesting. The second one was the second movie in most franchises, because it was bad. And the third one picked it up again, so it's good. I liked it.
Okay.
And then I forget what the hell is. Oh, the first Purge, which was, I mean, whatever. I don't feel like it was a waste of time, but I don't think it was a big. It's interesting backstory, and really that's kind of it. It's, I mean, it is. It's the history of the thing they wound up calling the Purge, and like here's how we started it. It started just on Staten Island at first, and what happened, and so it's definitely, they couldn't have done this one first and then done the subsequent ones because the tone would have been completely different. They had to be done in the order that they did them in, for sure. But
gotcha.
It's whatever. If you're a fan, it's definitely more the kind of, it's not a horror movie. And it's not even a thriller really.
Oh really?
It's really just more of. It's really more of like, hey, remember how in the last two movies where we talked about this whole thing is just so that, the poor people would all kill each other and the rich people would be better off? That, here's where you find out how that started. And it's just, it's straightforward, but
There's a TV show out right now that's about the first Purge, I believe.
It's about, I don't think it's about the first Purge, I think it's just about some about just some particular one, because apparently they did, like, there were apparently like 20 purges or something. Like, that thing went on for like 20 years.
Oh wow.
Because in the third movie, the senator who is like running for president, and she's anti-purge, and that's the whole story behind the third one, apparently was involved. Like, her family was killed in front of her during a purge. Like, I think they even say it was like 18 years before that.
Oh,
so,
wow.
So it was like, this thing had been going on for a while, apparently.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I haven't checked out the TV show yet. I haven't heard anything about it. I don't know if it's any good or not, but I'll probably check it out at some point.
Yeah, it's been playing after SmackDown, but I haven't caught it. Yeah. Man, dude, I picked the wrong time to sell my PlayStation.
Yeah, because Spider-Man is awesome.
And it is impossible to get a Pro.
Ha! Ha ha! And
it is,
ha again.
Yeah, it is completely sold out everywhere.
Yeah, I could have told you that. It's a special edition Pro that everybody...
No, you don't understand.
Yeah.
PlayStation Pro, just the Pro. Sold out everywhere.
Just a regular Pro.
Just a regular Pro. You cannot buy one.
Really? Well, I find that strange. I genuinely find that strange.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, well, I won't. I'm not going to get the Spider-Man one.
But you can't.
You can't pick up the Pro.
Wow, that's genuinely bizarre. Bizarre.
Major, Best Buy, like GameStop, Target, Walmart, Amazon, can't get it. The only thing possible really is like off of Amazon, where it's upped by whatever dealer for like $500 basically.
Right. Yeah.
So I might just do that. You don't have to spend the extra money, but dude, it is crazy. It's sold out everywhere. I was reading that Sony. I really think I'm one of those conspiracy theory people where I think they're holding it back for demand right before Christmas. Right before the holidays.
Yeah.
I was reading something about they're having an issue producing them because of the shortage that they had with the graphics cards.
Oh, joy.
Last year. But that doesn't make any sense. They still should be able to produce these things this far into the generation. But they said they're not able to meet demand, which I think is such bullshit.
I agree with you. I do.
Yeah, this far into a generation, I get it. They just did Spider-Man. Like, I get that. But this far in, how is it sold out? It's crazy.
I don't know, man.
But yeah, so it's gonna cost me probably an extra $150, but still gonna get it. it'll probably be the Spider-Man one because it's the same price as the other ones through those places on Amazon. I just hope I don't get screwed and the box goes up. And
I always worry about like a third party seller like that for something like that. Like I don't.
It's like Tech Pro Plus, better deals overnight. Mark Smith 345.
Yeah, nah, man, I wouldn't trust any of them. I'm too paranoid about that stuff.
Yeah.
You'd have better luck just going to a pawn shop and trying to find a Pro, because then
I don't want a used one though.
I know, but you don't know for sure that what you're going to be getting is a new one though. Like.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't know. I'm weird. I'd rather. I don't know. I would not want to go to a pawn shop though. That expensive electronic. Because pawn shops don't know anything. I'd rather go to a GameStop. But man, dude, I traded in my PlayStation and it wouldn't read discs. So why would I trust GameStop either? Or it'd read discs, but it would spin them out.
Yeah, that's true. But then you can take that back and be like, hey, I just bought this and it doesn't accept discs. Like, what the hell?
And with GameStop, sure, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, you can't
shops, all sales are final.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, but you could go to GameStop and be like, hey, this thing doesn't work. Like,
that's true.
What did you sell me?
Yeah, I don't know. It's. Boy, in my luck, I'll get it, and then like a week later, somebody's like, "Suddenly, we have enough parts."
I mean that's true.
Before Christmas, get everyone excited, like, "Oh, I can't get my hands on one." Like they're doing what Nintendo did, essentially.
Yeah, with all the classics, especially.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, if you're out there, you're listening, you want a PlayStation. Man, if you see a Pro on sale, snatch it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been fun for the last few weeks. That's what I was going to get this week. I was like, oh, this will be great. Nope.
Yeah, apparently not.
No. Yeah, it's sold out everywhere. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what year is this?
I'm with you. That's bizarre. That's genuinely bizarre.
Yeah, and not even the bundles. Like, I can't even, like, GameStop doesn't even have the bundles where they bundle it up for, like, $800 with a VR set or whatever.
Wow.
Like, you can't even get that. That's how crazy it is right now.
And it's weird because it's September. Like, I could get it if they did this in, like, a month from now, like, middle of October, I would not be surprised in the slightest. I'm very surprised now. I really am.
It's back ordered. Yeah. I
crazy.
see Newegg has it back ordered. Usually ships within 2 or 4 weeks. Limit 3 per customer. I might be able to do that. Then I know it's new.
That's true.
And then in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, that's sometime in October.
Hey, what do you know?
That's fine. I mean, bro, I've been I've been playing Pokemon Go. Trying to lose weight, trying to exercise. I've been going ham on Pokemon Go. I had some time off today, so I didn't catch Articuno. He's been my, I don't know what you'd call it, but he's the one that gets away.
He's the white whale, is he? He's
the white whale. I got another Moltres. I got a ton of, dude, I would walk on the street, and there's Porygon. I got 2 Lapras this week. Like, the Pokemon that were super rare to get when it first came out are now, like, on your corner. I have 9 eggs right now incubating. Like, I am going just full ham. I did a full round today of eggs. So it was at least 7 kilometers. So yeah, every day I've been going like that hard on it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been so much fun though. Like, I met some people today, because I'm a part of the Discord for Orlando basically, and it's broken up into the different sections like Baldwin Park, Altamont, and whatnot. So I met up with some people today from there and just hung out with them for a few hours, and we went from raid to raid to raid, and it was fun. Like, it was really cool. And we're getting together again on Saturday for the community day. So we're gonna get a bunch of Chikorrias or whatever the Pokemon is. Hopefully get a bunch of shinies. So yeah, man, like this game's taken over my life, but it's good. Social, meeting new people, and losing weight. So that's what I keep telling myself. It's good. And I don't spend too much. I spent on some incubators because I want to get the regionals. We talked about that last week. How yeah. And the guy there that we're meeting up on Saturday is going to trade me Kangaskhan, because you can only do one of those a day, the special trades. So hopefully by the end of the week I should have all the regionals. So, or for Gen 1. So
nice.
Yeah, so then technically, I think there's like 1 or 2 Pokemon I need to get before this ends, because the rest I have, and I can just walk with them, to get the candies. So like to get Charizard, I'll eventually walk enough with Charmander to get enough candies so I can evolve him. I'm just worried about the ones that just might not show up in the game again for who knows how long, because I think they're closing the door on Gen 1. They're getting ready for Gen 4, and that's just too many Pokemon in the wild. So I think this big event is to be like, hey, get your Gen 1 now. We'll probably do events with them before, but this is a way that we can kind of push those out now that we're going to have Gen 2, 3, and now 4 in it. So
yeah,
I'm excited. I'm pumped. But yeah, man, it's been my week. But yeah, let's get into some news. So we talked a little bit about it before, the Predator, the Nun. What else came out this week?
I think Predator was really the only thing this week.
Oh, the big one.
Well, we had to. No, hang on, that's not true. We had, because I'm trying to remember what all we had.
White Boy Rick.
Well, White Boy Rick and A Simple Favor came out this week. That's right.
I'm gonna blow my nose. I'll be right back. Keep going though.
All right. But yeah, Predator this weekend did just short of 25 million, number 1, but not a great showing. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, especially considering the Nun behind it at number 2 with about 18 million, and A Simple Favor debuting at 16. I mean, that's, that it doesn't make the Predator's number look really impressive, so I don't foresee a sequel in the near future for the Predator.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't think Alien or Predator movies will ever die, but yeah.
No, they'll be a thing that happen like once every 5 or 10 years, but they're just, it's gonna be that thing of like, oh, they're gonna keep making. Well, I mean, hell, they keep making Alien movies.
The same movie.
Yeah.
That's how we should do it. That would get people in the seats.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'd be awesome. Did they die? I know Arnold didn't die. Did Danny Glover got in the ship, right, at the end of that movie?
Yeah, he was in a ship, and
and if they brought those 2 characters back, that would be something.
Yeah, and Adrian Brody at the end of Predators was just stranded on the planet. Like, I mean, so they all lived, but I mean, I don't know.
Somehow tie them into I don't know how they would do it, but get those people in the same movie. Let's tie this up. That would be awesome.
It'd be interesting at least.
Yeah. I mean, I know I would be in. I know, like, that's the type of thing that, like, I know, like, my dad would call me and be like, "Did you see Schwarzenegger's in the new Punisher movie or the new Predator movie?" The Punisher movie, Jesus. But that's, you know what I mean? Like, he'll call me for stuff like that. Like, when we're in Jurassic World, same thing. He was like, the new one or whatever. He's like, "You see blah blah blah's in the new movie?" I'm like, "Yes, we gotta go see it." He gets excited about stuff like that.
Nice.
And he's kind of my baseline for like everyday, America that's in their 50s, I guess.
Right, kind of like what's yeah.
Yeah, that just they'll see a commercial or trailer and be like, "Oh, that looks cool." But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, 24 is not good.
No, and White Boy Rick for a I don't think it was a limited quote unquote release because it was fairly wide, but not like the full like 3,000 plus theaters. I'm pretty sure. Just short of 9 million. Not a bad haul for a movie like that. And Crazy Rich Asians getting about 8.7, give or take a little. I mean, that's a movie that's made money. That's made serious money for Warner Brothers. So good for them. I think that was a Warner Brothers movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because they had because it was Crazy Rich Asians and the Meg were out at the same time by the same studio. That's right.
Yeah, I want to see Crazy Rich Asians and White Boy Rick for sure.
Yeah, I still need to see Crazy Rich Asians because that looks good. It really does.
Yeah. What's coming out next week?
Not a whole lot really. The House with a Clock in Its Walls, which is kind of the hey kids, here's a scary movie, kind of, sort of to tide you over for 3 weeks until the Goosebumps sequel comes out. And then Life Itself, which is from some of the people involved with This Is Us. And it is getting destroyed.
Ooh.
The reviews are awful, and they pretty much all kind of talk about how basically there's a narrator that is, and I don't know if it's Morgan Freeman or not, but it's basically like, hey, let me explain to you what just happened. And it does, and it apparently does that a lot.
Life Itself. So, what's the movie about?
It's about like 3 generations of a family that are all connected by something, and so yeah, it's that kind of movie. It's like, oh, it's a family drama bonding, I guess, I don't know, kind of movie.
I googled it. It was a whole bunch of Robert Ebert Life Itself, but I guess that's definitely not it.
No, not that one.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So what? We got some movie news, right?
Yeah, we had we've got a big news week. We had a big news day, really. Like this was kind of a meh week up until like an hour ago, pretty much.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why did Marvel put all this stuff out today? It doesn't make any sense.
I guess because they were doing press, and well, the TV stuff that we'll talk about later, they didn't actually put out. Like, they haven't commented on that yet.
Oh, okay.
But they're gonna have to before too long.
Yeah.
But on the movie side of things today, we got our first Captain Marvel trailer.
What'd you think of it?
It was more teaser than trailer.
I like that.
Yeah, I liked it. It was a good little hype reel of like, here are some things to make you think, here are some things that look cool. Hey, remember when Samuel L. Jackson was younger? Like that was the teaser. Like I'm not really gonna call this a trailer, because a trailer is supposed to at least tell you a little about the movie, and this didn't. But I'm okay with that, because that wasn't the point of this.
Right. Maybe we'll get a different trailer during Venom.
I think that's a little too close, maybe.
Yeah. Wait, yeah, Venom is close. That's right.
Yeah, Venom's in 3 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
I would think closer towards, I would think maybe like Mary Poppins, like sometime around Christmas. I think we're gonna see like a trailer.
I'm gonna blow my nose again, so keep talking.
Yeah, but I don't know. I keep saying Mary Poppins just because it's the next like big Disney movie for the holidays, but I don't know. Like I think I would feel kind of weird about that. But I don't know. There was a trailer for something during I can't remember what, and I was like, really? They played this trailer here? It didn't. I don't know. It didn't make any sense. It'll come to me in a minute. But I was like, why? It was something that played during The Predator, and I was like, why did they play this trailer? Like, it just did not make any sense. I can't remember what it was.
I have a lot of questions about this.
Okay.
Cool. Now, we heard from Kevin Feige she's going to be the most powerful superhero in the galaxy, right? Which is dope.
Yeah.
But I'm a little... Man, I didn't read her comics that much about her origin. I've read the newer stuff. But it almost seems like when she lands on Earth, she doesn't remember who she is.
Right. And I think there's the scene they show where she's like buckled into something, and it's like shooting lightning at both sides of her head, like that kind of Frankenstein looking scene. I wonder if that has something to do with that.
Now, I know she was a test pilot. She was almost like the Green Lantern, basically.
Yeah, in a sense.
Yeah. I'm just, I don't know. They make her seem so, like, alien, but she's not. She's human.
Right, but if you don't remember that, if suddenly one day you wake up, you don't know who you are, but you're in this environment and you have soldier instincts, and so hey, we're in the middle of this war, pick a side, and it's an interesting identity kind of angle, and I think that's going to explain why she was off planet for basically everything that's been happening.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they explain why he hasn't called on her when the planet was invaded by aliens the first time. It looks like, this is the 90s, this happened before that. So this obviously was, so I'm sure they will. There were some things that I caught and I thought was cool. Like, do you see how she punched the old lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's got to be a Skrull.
I know. Everybody's really thinking that, and a part of me almost hopes she's not. Like,
that would be hilarious.
There is a small part of me that hopes she just is just having like a massive overreaction to something, and it's I want it to be kind of like Thor tossing the coffee mug kind of moment of like, I don't understand, what did I do wrong?
That'd be terrible.
I mean, obviously, obviously, this woman's gonna be a Skrull, but God, wouldn't it just be really funny if she wasn't?
Why did you do that? You broke my face. That'd be great. Do you see young Coulson?
Yeah. Who? I mean, he had more hair and slightly fewer wrinkles, but he didn't really look all that different to me.
Right, yeah.
And of
Samuel
course,
Jackson looks pretty good.
Sam, they did a great job with Sam. Sam looks like he did when he was younger. And he has both eyes, so what do you know?
Yep.
I imagine this will probably be the film where he loses it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because if you watch, like, he's basically like a SHIELD senior agent, but he's not director of anything. He's not even close to that yet.
Yeah, there's a part in the trailer where he's holding a bag on his eyes, so he got injured somehow. It's going to be interesting, especially because it takes place in the 90s. I thought that was such a cool thing to do.
I love that they open it with her crashing into a blockbuster. I was like, that's funny. I like that. That's funny as hell.
Yeah, I'm curious how that works, like with rights and stuff like that. Like, can you use anything that just doesn't exist anymore without an issue?
I don't know. Because I think I know somebody owns the rights to Blockbuster. I know.
Even if they go out of business?
Because it's still a thing. Like, it's still something you own.
But I guess whoever owns the rights is like, sure, we'll make some money off of that logo.
Exactly.
So they kept showing it. They were like, they wanted to drill in. This was the 90s.
Yeah.
Yeah. $9.99 movies and stuff like that. Man.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's like $24 to get a Blu-ray or 4K.
Yeah.
Did you see with the Mohawk? That was pretty cool.
Yeah, the kind of newer, like, they lean a lot towards the newer designs.
Yes, it's smart because it's a really good. I mean, her old design they wouldn't be able to do in 2018.
No, that's true. That's very true.
Yeah. So the newer design is very kick-ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, she looked dope in it. It didn't like, I don't know. It was a teaser, so it didn't. I am like you, kind of really waiting for that trailer.
Yeah, like this was just the hey, look at this thing.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't. This was not a trailer. It was a teaser. It was like, hey, look, here's young Sam Jackson, and oh my god, I kind of recognize that pager, except it's not as heavily modified as it was when he threw it on the street. Like,
yeah. Oh yeah.
So it's I liked it. It was a good first taste, and I'm excited to see like the actual trailer.
Yeah.
And given when it comes out, like it's the one in March. It's what, February, March, right? I can't remember. So I was thinking Super Bowl, but that's too close. Like it's got to be before that. So it's got to be Christmas. It's got to be around Christmas.
Yeah. It's the same thing. It was the same time Black Panther was.
Black Panther was February though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it was like middle of February, something like that.
Yeah. Whew. But yeah, man, it looks great. Can't wait. They nailed the look. They nailed the feel. I just want to see more. Well, actually, you know what? I take that back. I don't want to see any more. I just want to see a movie.
I want the narrative trailer, and then I'm good. Like that's the only other thing I want to see.
Yeah. I want the hair on my arms stand up trailer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just want a PlayStation Pro so I can play Spider-Man. Honestly, what was I thinking? I didn't know that it was so hard to get.
No, I'm with you though, man. That was crazy.
Yeah. Oh well. We got some Superman news.
Yeah, or some lack of Superman news, I guess. Yeah, apparently because of the contract, there was a breakdown in contract talks regarding a Superman cameo in Shazam, and I guess some, because of Cavill's commitment to this new Witcher series, and I imagine there was probably a little lingering resentment over the mustache, because that was not a cheap visual effect. To have to get rid of that, and the idea of, well, what else is going to happen if we have to work around the schedule? They have decided, I don't know if it was mutual, the talk seems to be that it was more on the Warner Brothers side of things, that Henry Cavill will no longer be Superman.
Wow.
So, which genuinely sucks, because he had it, man. And you could see he was doing everything he could with what they gave him. And if we had decent DC movies.
Well, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. It was never official that he was out.
It was, right? I think so. I don't think it's...
No. Didn't he get on Instagram and clear it up?
He posted something he posted himself in like in like some kind of Krypton shirt. But
yeah.
But like that was it though.
He's not officially out though, right?
The last I saw was that he was out. So I don't. I mean, So I don't know.
Is that official?
What was the word from Warner Brothers? It was something very. If it wasn't official, it was about as damn close to official as you could get.
Okay.
Give me a minute to look this up. But
remember his Instagram? He's like, "Today was wild, y'all."
Yeah,
something like that. But yeah, and he had like the doll. But I didn't think it was official. I thought someone just jumped the gun.
I'm pretty sure. All right.
Every article I'm seeing is like, he should be out. Reasons why Henry Cavill should be out. Reasons why Henry Cavill should be in. Henry Cavill still might be Superman after all. Henry Cavill out of Superman ? Like none of it looks official. I don't know.
Okay, so the official Warner Brothers statement is: "We have a great relationship and great respect for Henry Cavill that continues to remain unchanged. Additionally, we have made no current decisions regarding any upcoming Superman films."
Right.
Which is a very vague, roundabout way of saying we really don't want to keep screwing up this entire universe any more than we already have.
That's true.
It's not a promising outlook.
Yeah. Yep.
So anyway, there's that.
Yeah.
But I look to the post Justice League scene, like the mid-credit scene or right before the credits, whatever it was, with him and the Flash. And if we had that Superman at all, like this, then this whole thing would have gone so much differently.
Mm-hmm.
Because that was a fun, not brooding, dark, I can't get away from all of my problems Superman. That was a fun Superman.
I agree.
It was what the hell he should have been, and they screwed all that up.
Yeah. What about the news that Warner Brothers was talking with Michael B. Jordan to play Superman?
I had seen that, and I don't know if that was about if they were going to replace Henry Cavill, that he could conceivably be on a short list. I I would
What
be
if they just replace him with no explanation?
I would love it because I don't care.
Same universe.
Like
no explanation. Like what?
No,
what
just
happened?
like how they changed Batman's back in the day. You know,
right,
it's like one movie it's Val Kilmer, the next it's Michael Keaton, the next it's George Clooney. These are different people.
With those, every other character was replaced.
Except for Alfred.
Oh, was Alfred the same in all of them?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I think so, yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a whole, like, oh, we're just going to recast everybody. That's funny. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, I don't know. I would...
People got their panties in a wad for that one.
Oh my god, I hope I want to see stuff like that just because they would freak. Because they're like, Superman can't be black. Superman is an alien.
I think it'd be an interesting story to you're absolutely right. I think it'd be an interesting story. But also, like, I see this stuff and I'm like, there's so many great black characters as well.
Oh,
Why don't we start making those movies?
Absolutely.
Like, that's to me the real conversation. Like, why, you know, I don't think I'd want Michael B. Jordan as Superman. I'd totally be down for African American to be you know, a black, you know, Superman. That would be great. I don't know about Michael B. Jordan though. I liked him in Black Panther, but as Superman, I don't know. There's some other black actors I think would be better than him, but I don't know. I thought that was funny though.
Yeah.
People just lost their minds, and they don't realize that there is Black Superman. Like, it's been done before a few times in the comics anyway. So
yeah, but that's in a different universe. You know, like nothing's the same in those universes. Like that was all, and only they just did that because you know when Obama was president, they made him Superman in that one story.
Right.
I love because my two favorite reactions to anything like that are always first and foremost, and it should probably be the secondary point, but you can't argue the other point first with anybody that dug in. You have to start by saying he's an alien. And then when people get really mad, you have to cut back to, yes, but you also have to remember he's not real.
right. Fictional characters.
Yeah, so, oh my god, they changed him. He was also created in the 40s. 30s, if I remember right.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, could you have imagined? Of course, of course, every superhero was white for the next 40 years.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, but duh. I mean...
Yeah.
There's, you know, so I think if they wanted to say, you know what, it's an entire generation and a half later.
Yeah.
Let's have some of these characters just not be white anymore. That doesn't bother me.
Right.
But I do agree with the point of like, and by the way, let's also have some more black superheroes in some good movies or TV shows. And you know, I mean, there's the first half of season 1 of Luke Cage showed so much promise, and I didn't like the second half, and I cannot get into season 2.
Right, no, I agree.
I've tried, and on the flip side of that, I've tried with Iron Fist, and they're not interesting.
Yeah,
they're not. I don't know what happened, but they're not. They're just not engaging.
Not at all,
and it bums me out.
Is this second season of Iron Fist any good?
I've seen like the first couple episodes, and it's the same thing of just like I don't care about the corporate drama. I don't care.
Oh, is it about corporate drama in the second season?
The first episode has a whole big thing about how the sister wants to be bought out of her contract from the company that she left, and I'm just like, I don't care.
How did they not learn their lesson?
Because it was a plot thread that I guess has to be tied off, and none of this interests me. I don't care. It starts off promisingly, where Danny is like, oh yeah, I'm still part of the company, but really I live in the dojo, and I have a job as a mover because I want to put in hard work and know what it's like to be a real New Yorker and see the city at street level. And that's an interesting premise. And then as soon as they start bringing the highbrow corporate crap into it, I just tune out. I don't care. I absolutely don't. I didn't care in the first season. I don't care in this one. So I don't know if there's more of that, or if that's or maybe that is the end of them tying it off. I don't know. I don't think I got that far. So I couldn't tell you. I'm not I as soon as I got to that, I was like, I can't do more of this. I so can't.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe in a way that's not fair of me, but also I'm just like, I can't just slog through more of this crap. I can't do it, man.
Yeah. Well, we got Daredevil season 2. Season what? 4 now? 3. 3
Yeah.
in October. Daredevil interests me.
I will jump into that because that found a balance between, like the legal aspect of things and him and all his and everything he was doing, basically by having him not be a part of that and everybody else be mad at him for it.
Right.
And that worked. Those dynamics worked. Those characters worked.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope it's good. I want it to be good. I really do.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they did this all wrong. I've said this from day one. They should have put it should have been Power Man and Iron Fist as the same show.
Yeah.
Because Luke Cage, like you said, the first half of that first season was great. It either should have ended there, or they should have put them together to make it. I think it would have been more fascinating to see them two play off of each other, going from like people that, because they kind of did it in the show where like they both hated each other, but they never really became like best buds. Like that would have been a way better dynamic than this corporate shit.
Oh yeah.
And seeing, these two very different people from different worlds come together, like, especially in 2018, you know what I mean? Like, that would have been awesome to see. And it's just, what are they doing? It's just so stupid. They get this guy who's supposed to be the Kung Fu master or whatever, is involved in corporate shenanigans. Like, it's just so dumb. That should have been an episode, and that's it.
Yeah.
Move on. Yeah. And then let's see, I don't know. It's just, oh well. But when we get into some TV news, it looks like there might just be hope for Marvel on the not the big screen, the little screen, I guess,
on
the television. So, but we'll see. When do you think? When does Netflix still? Are they going to keep doing these? Do they still have the rights to these?
Yes. Yeah. All of like this little Netflix Marvel's universe is still going to be a thing for as long as, because I don't know exactly what the deal with any other characters are, but like the ones that they have, they, until they decide not to make those shows anymore, they have.
Because they're not. At this point, you think they would be introducing a lot more characters to have their own shows, but they kind of stopped after The Punisher.
Yeah, and I wonder if that was I wonder if that was Marvel, if they were if they were seeing the new Disney service coming and saying, let's not put all our eggs in this basket.
Yeah, because Moon Knight would be perfect for this kind of tone. But I'm wondering if Disney's like, no, let's actually hold that card a little closer to our chest. Because man, that would be interesting. Fucking Moon Knight. It'd be so good.
Yeah.
We got some other movie-related news. Did you see the images of Phoenix for the Joker?
Yeah, I did. And they pulled a name from The Killing Joke for the Joker's not Joker persona, and it's and I don't remember the name. Like, I don't remember the character it was attached to. It was like a little small-time guy or something whose name was Arthur Fleck, and I don't remember. Like, he was such a minor character. It wasn't the name of, like, the Joker before he was the Joker. It was somebody else.
Yeah.
But it sounds like they're going to keep that story like, that backstory of, like, the failed comedian, and I'm sure he'll end up at Ace Chemical at some point, and, so it goes.
Right. He looks just like the Joker.
He does. Like, they've pulled off a very kind of Coen Brothers look for him, and I dig that. I really do. I think I have a theory about why they picked that name for this character. I think it's because whoever was writing the script said, continuity be damned, the Joker's legal name is going to be A. Fleck.
Yeah, I saw that.
And I was like, I loved when I saw the idea behind that of just like, oh hey, and by the way, if you write out just the initial, that's what name you get. So I
Yeah.
really think that whoever it is, somebody on the writing or producing staff just said, look, this joke is too good to pass up. Like,
Yeah. That's funny. Did they ever say in the comics that his name?
I don't think so.
I think, okay, so it is actually very recent. It's when Batman became a god.
Yeah, and he found out there were 3 Jokers.
Of knowing everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he asked who the Joker's name is. He's like, what's his name? And then he's like, no, it's impossible. But yeah, there's like 3 of them. I don't think they've told that story yet, though. I think they're getting ready to.
Okay.
Man, I need to start reading some comics again. I got back into it for a little bit, but Pokemon Go is just taking over my life. Damn that healthy game. But yeah, no, it's but yeah, so I don't think they've told the Jokers the story of the 3 Jokers yet, but I'm curious if they're gonna somehow tie in like this kind of thing into it. Because I looked it up and I guess Jack Napier was a popular name for the Joker.
Well, because that was his name in the first Batman movie.
In the movie, right? Yeah. So that'd be interesting. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. The movie looks better and better the more I see and the more I hear from it. I'm actually, I at first I was like, why are we getting this? And I've kind of turned around on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks good. He needs to do a great job with it. And we have a new person playing Thomas Wayne, right?
Yeah, Brett Cullen. He was in Narcos. He was in Lost. He's been a character actor in like 12 billion different things.
Right.
So he's gonna be Thomas Wayne, which, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he played one of the others, right? Or the what do they call him in Lost?
No, that was it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Man, it's been so long since I've seen that show. I miss Lost. I want to see it again. It's on Hulu now, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Hulu needs to get a better player. I don't like their player. I think Netflix is so much better. HBO. Amazon too. Amazon is a really good player, but I don't like Hulu. The HD doesn't pop in as fast as the other ones.
It's weird.
It's very weird. I don't know if it's my app or what, but I miss Lost. Lost needs to come back. But yeah, so he's gonna be playing. Man, do you think they'll ever do anything with that franchise? I mean, ABC's just sitting on it.
What, Lost?
Yeah.
There was talk of a reboot or something not that long ago.
There was, wasn't there? That's right.
Yeah, I don't...
I'd be down for it. I don't think anything would ever take away from the lightning in a bottle that had for television. Because for me, at least, maybe it's just because it changed for me, so I'm thinking to everybody, but that just changed the way I view television. And I'm sure, Game of Thrones is arguably a better show, just produced and shot and written and just the production value and everything else. But I don't think if there was a loss, there would ever be Game of Thrones. You know what I mean? The way it changed the way people viewed television as to me it was like before that, everything was serialized, where one episode didn't follow into the next. That really made it like you had to tune in every week.
Yeah.
You had to pay attention to the show. I remember watching the behind the scenes, and they were like, "No one's going to do this. No one's going to want to tune in and see this." Like the producers, or not producers, but the people with I guess it was the producers, were afraid that if every episode didn't kind of start out explaining everything again, if like it wasn't your first one, that it could be a problem. I don't know. Man, I just lost. It's so good. But anyway, let's get back to it. Let's get into some TV. The big news from Marvel. We got a Disney streaming service reportedly is developing multiple standalone character spin-off series, including Loki and Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, to be played by the actors who played them. Like, it's not going to be... They're not going to trade it off somehow or something.
How are you going to do it? First of all, Loki show. Scarlet Witch.
I loved what Aaron in our group said when Did you read his comment on the post
No.
about this? He said it's going to be CSI Loki, where every week he fakes his own death, and they have to figure out how he did it this time.
Yeah, I would watch that.
I like that. That I
is
get.
Fantastic.
But who knows, man? I don't know. It'll have to be like pre-Thor Loki.
Yeah.
I would think, but again, this is going to be post Avengers 4, so who knows? But I don't know. I'm sure they.
I don't think he's dead.
Don't. I'm not doing the Hulk theory. I'm not getting into.
I don't think he's the Hulk. I think that's silly. I don't think he's the Hulk. But there's a very clear scene when Thanos is distracted fighting the Hulk and he's gone, and then he just reappears right afterwards. I don't think he's the Hulk, but I don't think that was him that got choked out. I think it was a very clever way. Like, he wouldn't just walk right back into the lion's den when Loki can escape. And I know the whole idea was that, like, he's a changed man. They just had Loki in Avengers Volume 1 now as the bad guy. So, like, that's his MO. He's gonna live. He's gonna escape any way possible. And if he goes out looking like the hero, even better for him. You know? It's like, that's his character. I don't think he's dead. He just knew that shit. He needs to fake his death. I don't know. Or maybe he's brought back. I don't know. From when whatever shenanigans happen in the next Avengers movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think because I don't think anybody from Infinity War stays dead after 4.
Maybe that's how they bring back Lost.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
And they find a gauntlet on an island. Oh, let's write it. Just kidding. Wouldn't that be weird if they brought back Lost and in the 5th season it ties into the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I'm sorry, but now all I can picture is the version of Galactus from Rise of the Silver Surfer being the new smoke monster.
There you go. We got Hurley with the gauntlet. We got
oh god,
Galactus smoke monster. It would be fantastic. Imagine the things he would be saying on the island, like, "What? This that looks like a scroll. What? What's a scroll?" It would be perfect. Oh man, oh boy. Yeah, sorry.
And it all comes back to Lost.
Yeah, it would, man. I'm telling you. Yeah, there you go. Put a Lost spin-off show on this app. I mean, this app is getting better and better.
Yeah, especially and because the Scarlet Witch show is going to be interesting too.
Yeah,
because I don't know where. Like, I don't have a starting point for that at all in my head, and that's really interesting to me.
Do you think, because it's already announced that multiple Star Wars shows are going to be on the app as well? I'm curious if they're going to do like an Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Maybe they, instead of doing a Han Solo sequel, they do a Han Solo show. I would totally be in for that.
I would, and especially given how many of his exploits are probably around like very complicated heists and whatnot. I think it lends itself better to a series.
I think it really does as well. Yeah. You see, Dash Rendar is now canon.
No.
Yeah, he's mentioned in a book, Tales from whatever that place is called in the Solo movie where they're gambling.
Oh, Canto Bight?
Not Canto Bight.
No.
The Solo movie. The one where he...
Yeah.
Yeah, with all the weird aliens.
Yeah. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Really?
But, yeah. So, they like, Dash Rendar's in that. So,
well, I'll be damned.
Yeah, or he's mentioned or something like that. So.
Right. Oh, that's all you need, man. Drop the name.
That's it. Yeah, they just basically, they were like, you know what, we might not ever do anything with this character, but just know he's alive, and he's there, it's canon.
He's a thing. He exists, so.
Right, and I think the joke, because I didn't read it, I just saw it in a YouTube video, and, because the book is not like, it's not like the other books that we've been reading. The book's like 132 pages, I think it's for kids, but they mention in it, like, they don't need that character because they have Solo. So like it's like a joke. Like they don't need both of them. They only need one of them. Which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So that's this man. This app's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah, and
Star
especially
Wars shows, Marvel shows.
and especially with like each of the Marvel series are supposed to be, like that 6-8 episode range, and
Mhm.
they're talking about a budget. They're not gonna hold back on these.
Yeah,
And more power to them. Like if anybody can afford to do it, it's Disney.
it is. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I got a question. This is so random.
Okay.
When does that Mayans MC show come out?
It started already.
Oh, it has?
Yeah, it premiered a couple weeks ago, I think.
Oh, I need to look up on my TV to see if it's on the on demand. I don't want to watch that.
Yeah, it might be. It's probably on like FX. Isn't there like an FX Now or something?
There
now?
is.
Yeah, it's probably on that too.
I DVR'd all the Dragon Ball Super, so I've been catching up on those too. There's so much filler though, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, well, it's anime. What do you expect?
Yeah, I know. Oh man, this is another side note. I saw a YouTube. Okay, so you don't watch anime, right? But you know, like dubs and subs and stuff like that, right?
Oh, here we go. Yes, I do.
Yeah, yeah. So there's this YouTube channel or TV show, and I think it's on Crunchyroll as well. But it's called Anime Crimes. Let me pull it up real fast. The name of it. Um, uh, it's on Rocket Jump and Crunchyroll. So it's called Anime Crimes Division, and it's basically short episodes, like 10 minutes long.
Okay.
There's like 3 episodes in the first season, and the first season's all on YouTube. Obviously, you should support them. Go to Crunchyroll. Go to watch all that stuff. But like, it's live action. It's shot almost like you know how they did. Oh, what's that movie, Bright?
Okay.
It's basically like Bright, but with anime. So like, they take their anime super seriously in this world, but it's the normal real world.
Right, I got you.
And so like, there's gangs called the dubs and the subs, and the dubs, like, they'll talk, and then just some completely different voice,
and it doesn't
is voicing over them. It's just so funny. And like, someone writes on a statue subs over dubs, and the guy's like, "This is gonna start a war." Like, it's just so stupid, and it's so funny at the same time. He gets a new rookie cop, and he's like, "What's your favorite anime?" And she's like, "Digimon." And he's like, "I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that." Towards the end of the episode, he's like, "Guys, we can all get along. Some of us are dubs, some of us are subs, some of us are into Digimon. It's okay." It's so stupid. It's so stupid, but it's hilarious. It's got the guy Pro ZD. Probably saying that wrong, but he's super popular on YouTube. He's the one that does the really short anime jokes, a lot of JRPG jokes and stuff like that, where like he pretends to be like an NPC in a JRPG. Like, I don't know, it's really funny. Go check it out. But yeah, man, it's hilarious. It's called Anime Crimes Division, and if you know just a little bit about anime, you can get it. You understand what he's talking about,
right?
Yeah, he's like, there's two kind of people in this world. I don't know the full joke, but he's like, the ones who can name every whatever character in Sailor Moon, whatever, and then the ones who shouldn't be here. Like, there's two kind of people in this city. Ones who can name every character in Sailor Moon, the others who shouldn't deserve to be here. Like, it's just so silly. It's so dumb, but anyway. Sorry to derail. But some other crazy news dropped. Avatar: The Last Airbender.
This came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like, this was not, because, I mean, DiMartino and Konietzko, who are doing the Dragon Prince, which I have found enjoyable. It's not the same pace as Avatar or Korra. It's slower in some ways, and it's faster in some other ways. There's a pacing issue with it, but it sets up an interesting universe, and I like the characters, so I want to give it.
Yeah.
I think I'm through like the first 5 episodes, and they're short, And it's only what, like 8 or 9 episodes,
yes.
Isn't it?
Yeah. I'm 3 or 4 in right now, and I like it.
Yeah, I enjoy it, and there's definitely a lot of promise for like, I think it already got renewed for a second season.
Yeah,
which
it's just the animation, it's just way too choppy.
Yes, I agree.
The frames on this need to be just like I get what they're trying to do, but stop it. Like, do up the frames on this thing, you know.
But
that's really my only complaint about it. Like, what's cool about this is you can sit down with your kid and watch this.
Oh yeah,
and get enjoyment out of it. And,
agreed.
Yeah, it's fun.
But
and it's one episode leads into the next. It's not like some filler episode where nothing happens. So far that I've seen, it just seems like one runs into the next, like a chapter of a book.
Yeah, and that was even what was great about something like Avatar, where you had episodes that were very distinctly filler, but they were important.
Right.
It was weird. Like, here's an episode. There's an episode where they keep a bunch of Earthbenders captured. It's early in the first book, and it is an episode that just feels very filler, but it's not. It's weird. Like, you can tell that it's because of how they carry a lot of things through the show. Like, everything has consequences. Gotcha. And so that's what was really good about that. And of course they carried that over into Korra. Korra didn't run quite as long as Avatar did, season wise, I don't think.
How many seasons were each?
I think they were each 3, but I think the episode counts for each of the books in Korra was a little shorter.
Okay.
I think I may be wrong. It may just be like that it felt shorter. But there was more padding in The Last Airbender, but not in a bad way. They found a way to do that to make it work. And they've had so much success with those series and so much success with the Dragon Prince that they are teaming with Netflix on a live action series that they're going to start producing in 2019, and it's going to be a live action and in their own terms, not whitewashed version of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That's the first question people are going to ask. So I'm glad they kind of
they got right out in front of it. It's going to be an inclusive, diverse, non-whitewashed story.
Good.
They said it right off the top.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I was like, oh, the shade. Ow.
That was the one movie that I went and saw, and I fell asleep as soon as it started.
Yeah, which
slept through
was
the
fair.
whole movie.
It was absolutely fair.
And I woke up at the end. I was waking up. Someone woke me up, and we left. I was like, I don't know anything. I remember there was a dog at some point that was flying. That's all I remember. I have no idea about that movie. Still to this day, I haven't seen anything about it.
Just don't.
Or was it a dog? It was a big fluffy thing.
It's a bison. It's a flying bison.
I just kept thinking it was the thing from the. I won't say what I was, but it was. I just wasn't all there when I saw the movie.
That's fair.
And I just remember the big fluffy thing from the Never-Ending Story. That's what it reminded me of.
Okay. I can. Yeah.
Something like that. I couldn't tell you. I wasn't feeling good at the time, and I just fell right asleep. Yeah. So that was fun.
But no, this is going to be done right. So I'm looking forward to it, and of course it's half, oh good, the guys who the original creators are doing it, so it's not going to suck, and the other half, we don't need this, it's gonna ruin everything. Look, I just want to punch everybody in the face that says, oh my god, they're doing this thing and it's gonna ruin something from the past. There's a really easy way to make sure it doesn't do that. Don't watch it.
Yeah, no, I'm always the the thing is for the most part, I mean, I just talked about it with Lost. I want more Lost. And nothing they could do could ruin it.
Exactly.
At the same time, I can still be disappointed with the decisions that studios make, like talk about the Pikachu, the Detective Pikachu. Super disappointed they went in that direction.
Yeah.
Super disappointed they went in that direction. But that's not going to change Pokemon. I'm not going to suddenly stop playing it or something. I mean, look, I was just talking about Pokemon Go and how much time and energy I'm putting into that. It's not like I'm going to just, I don't know. So I think that's silly. It's like, I don't know. If it's not for you, then it's not for you. And odds are, something that you enjoyed years ago, you might not be into now. Yeah. People grow, people change. You know, your interests might shift a little bit, or they might not. That's perfectly fine. But that's crazy for someone to be. To me, they came out and said that the two most important things, like you said, we have the original creators, and this one's not going to be whitewashed. And that was the biggest problem that most people had with that live action movie.
Well, and also the fact that they couldn't pronounce anything.
Oh, was that? I didn't know about that.
He is Ong, the Avatar, which is completely wrong. It's oh my god, and so oh man, it's just no. It's no that the whole movie was just bad.
Yeah, see, this is just a series that I've never watched. I don't know anything about.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Oh, it is. Okay.
It is. It and Legend of Korra. Give them a watch. Like they're very good, and I genuinely believe that they hold up. Not just because I'm a fan, but I really think they hold up. You know,
okay.
And especially as they go on, like it starts and it's a fluffy kids show at the beginning. It is, but it gets really dark really quick as a way of grounding it. Like, we get it, you know, the kid controls air and he's light and he's bouncy and he's a happy kid, but some bad stuff has gone down. So he, like, it's a great coming of age story. It really is. And Korra even more so because she's a teenager. And
it always came off to me as like a Nickelodeon version of the anime.
It's and that is both and that's a fair assessment. Like it is. But don't let that.
And not bad.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. To me, it felt like that studio going, "Hey, we can do anime."
That's yeah, and that's a fair point. And in the process, they made a really damn good show.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
I know people love this. I've seen the memes with like the Fire Nation.
Yes, and then the Fire Nation attacked. Yeah. it all changed when the Fire Nation attacked.
Yeah. So I mean.
It's a good show, and I'll tell you what, I like when I had first heard about it, I was like, oh god, because I looked at it in that light of, oh, Nick tried to do an anime, and I didn't want anything to do with it. A buddy of mine from when I lived down in Sarasota, he was telling me about how he liked it, but the thing that stuck out to him the most is how like all the animals there are like two animals. Like they're like nothing is just a straight up, oh, this is a this or this is a that. Everything is like two parts of something. Like
gotcha.
They introduce like penguin
wolf dog or something.
Right. It's like the penguins that they introduce are like otter penguins or penguin seals or something.
Gotcha,
like right in the beginning. But there's the king of the Earth Kingdom has a bear.
Oh, just a regular bear.
A regular bear, and it struck him as so funny because it was so out of character. And
that's how things are, man. I mean, that's how Pokemon was for me. When I first saw Pokemon, I was like, that's not for me. I don't want to play that. I sold my Game Boy a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't want to. Why would I want to play that? And all it took was one weekend, and my friend like, I know you're saying you hate this, but I'm obsessed with it. So is the world. And he let me borrow his Atomic Purple Game Boy. Was it a Game Boy Color?
Yes, it was.
It was a Game Boy Color.
Because they were translucent. Was it a translucent one or just the purple one?
It was translucent.
There
it was the Atomic Purple.
Yeah.
And he let me borrow that in red. He was like, "Don't save over the game." So I didn't turn it off. Ran out through the batteries. Then I restarted it with new batteries the next day, and I gave it back to him one day. And I think I've told the story before where I was like, I need this game now. And so it was during the summer. Gave it back to him. Went to my grandparents, and for 3 or 4 weeks, I remember for like the first month and a half of that summer, me and my brother mowed every lawn in I don't know, it wasn't the entire neighborhood, but we literally went on every door. And when they told us that they didn't need the lawn mowed, we would go the next day and knock on the door and say, $20, we'll mow your lawn. Like, we bothered everybody until we had enough to get 2 Game Boys. I got red, he got blue. and then for the rest of the summer, that's all we did was play Pokemon. So that's how it works, man. Because you can be totally not into something, and then someone's like, "I get it, I get but give it a chance."
Yeah, I would say the same thing about Last Airbender. Give it a shot.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's great, and it especially when they did Legend of Korra, because I thought, they're doing another one. Like, I wasn't sure how I felt about that. And then not just seeing the callbacks, which they aren't overly done, which I thought was nice. But just, it's different. Aang is a kid. He's, 10, 11 years old, I think. Korra is older. She's in her teens. You know, it's a big difference. And it's definitely made for the audience that grew up with The Last Airbender. Now you have somebody else close to your age. And Korra is way more serious. But not in a bad way. Like, it doesn't get, like, extra super dark and everything. It's just, it tackles bigger issues. And the villains in Korra are some of the best villains in anything ever. I'm serious.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people that say they like Korra more than they liked Avatar.
And that's a fair point. Like, it is a more mature show in the way that it needed to be. Avatar is a kids cartoon because it needed to be a kids cartoon. It was for like the 8 and 9-year-olds.
Right.
But it's definitely still adult enjoyable. But and then Korra came from that and was for the older audience. And it was fantastic. So I would, they're on Amazon Prime, all of them, all the not seasons, all the books they call them. So give it a shot, give it a watch. I definitely think you'll enjoy it for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna check it out. Did you see the trailer for The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina?
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I was so thrilled when they dropped that trailer. I was like, all right, I jumped on that trailer and
What's the date it comes out again?
Oh, October 12th. No, that's not right. It's it's like sometime mid-October.
Yeah.
I can't remember off that. I should know, like, right off the top of my head. Chilling Adventures of Sabrina of course it doesn't say. 26th. Okay, so it's closer to Halloween. That's cool.
Yeah, makes sense.
But
ooh, speaking of Halloween, I'm going to Halloween Horror Nights in a few weeks.
Oh yeah, gonna check out the Stranger Things room.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there'll be like a 3-hour wait, but that's the one thing we definitely want to do.
Yeah.
That one, the Halloween one, and then I'm gonna start researching to see, like, word of mouth what the good ones are. But that should be fun. Probably only gonna go to it once this year. My friend, she wants to see all of them. Like, that's not gonna be possible, but okay.
Nah, you can't. If you go like one day, you can do like 2, maybe.
Well, no, you can do more than 2.
3 maybe if you get there early enough.
Yeah. So we might go twice, but I don't know. It'll be fun. Everyone will be dressed up. It'll be spooky, and that time of year. This time of year is great. Let's see here. What else do we got?
Aaron Paul joins the cast of Westworld for season 3.
That was random. I've only seen 2 episodes of the 2nd season. Everyone says they hated it.
Here's my problem with season 2. Everything that made it's the problem that people had with Lost in that, again, here we go again. In talking about like how it's all mystery and very little explanation or so much. But the problem, and we could go on and on about that. But the problem with season 2 of Westworld is that it actually is that. It gets so wrapped up in its own mystery and creating this whole big crazy kind of mystery, and everything has to be super extra complicated to the point where you just get tired.
Well, the thing about Lost was it never felt complicated to me. Like, it felt like Jack needed to go to this place to get this item.
Right.
That's not complicated.
What season 2 of Westworld did was it took the idea of, hey, isn't it fun where people go on, where, there are however many Reddit threads describing all the things that happen and what people think they mean. How about if we made that kind of analysis of the season mandatory for you to enjoy it?
Right, and see, I don't know, like, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's too much. Like, when you have to do homework for just to get what happened in the show, it's too much, man. It's just too much.
And that's what it's kind of like, when you start Pictocross and it's just a cube.
Yeah.
And you gotta go against it. And then 6 hours later, and maybe like 10 minutes into Pictocross, you're like, oh wow, this is difficult. But then 4 hours later, you're like, that was nothing compared to what I'm doing now. That's kind of what happened with Lost in this. Like, because that's how I see it. Like, with Lost, people complained about it being so confusing, and you mean I have to watch every week? Where now it's like, yeah, that's just the norm.
Yeah.
So when they make it super complicated, it's like, what the? Now you've gone overboard. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt, because I remember watching the first 2 episodes, and I remember like stopping it. And I was like, I have no idea what's going on. Like, I know these characters, but why are they here? What are they? What's going on?
Yeah.
So, man, I want to finish it because I like the idea of it, but it's just, I don't know. We got His Dark Materials.
Yeah.
It's a show.
Yeah, the BBC is working on an adaptation of Philip Pullman's novels. You remember the Golden Compass movie that came out however long ago? The BBC is doing a TV series adaptation of that series, and HBO has decided to jump in and kind of co-produce, and also have the global, or the not global but international, outside of the UK distribution rights.
Oh, okay.
So if you're in the UK, it'll be on BBC. If you're outside of the UK, it'll be on HBO. Kind of like how like the Netflix CW stuff works.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
That's cool. Right. We got Alan Wake.
Yeah, I like that. They're gonna turn Alan Wake into a TV series, because that was a game that was really awesome. That just never, like, they got the American Nightmare like expansion. Basically, it wasn't really It was more than DLC, but not quite a sequel. And they've always kind of like been talking about an Alan Wake 2, but it's probably not gonna happen. But Peter Calloway who's been working on Legion is going to be the showrunner for this series, and Sam Lake, who created the actual game, is going to be executive producer. He's going to be pretty hands-on with it. And they're like, we don't know a network or anything yet. But they're going to work on this and shop it around and see what happens. I think this, I see somebody like Showtime picking this up.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I've never played the game, but people seem to love it.
They're fun. It was really fun, and American Nightmare was good too.
Oh, that's awesome. I'll check it out.
Yeah.
We got a lot of video game news.
Yeah. Before we get into all of the Nintendo stuff, there was one thing that happened today, which is that Capcom has closed their Vancouver studio.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, the one that made Dead Rising. Yeah. So they.
Wow.
Yeah. They had laid off some of that staff earlier this year. It was like in February, I think. But now it's officially closed. And this is the part that really sucks. The statement from Capcom in part reads, as a result of reviewing titles in development at Capcom Vancouver, Capcom has decided to cancel the development projects at this studio and will concentrate development of major titles in Japan. So the 158 people at that studio are now unemployed, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, come on, Dead Rising always sold well. Like, that was always a consistently reliable title for them. And I don't understand this, man. I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
And who knows what's going to happen to that franchise? But I mean, there's also EA Vancouver, where I imagine a lot of those people are going to wind up. But just I mean, that just sucks, man. What the hell is going on with Capcom?
I don't know.
Like, for every Resident Evil 2 remake they do, they pull some crap like this. They close down the Dead Rising studio. They fire Kenji Inafune, who was the godfather of Mega Man. All this, just these stupid decisions. And I don't know, man. I just don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy.
That's bonkers.
Yeah. We got a Nintendo Direct to talk about.
Yeah, we got a lot of news out of this Nintendo Direct, and I don't remember. I can never remember from one Direct to the next what we know and what we don't know. Because obviously we knew Smash was a thing, and we'll talk about that later. But I didn't know they were working on Luigi's Mansion 3.
Oh, yeah.
I think that was... I don't know if that was new or if that was just new to me, but...
We knew that they were going to bring it over to the Switch, the older game.
Well, they're bringing it to... Yeah, is it coming to... It is coming to Switch, isn't it? Yeah, that was the thing.
They were doing... One of them's gonna be on the 3DS. Oh boy, the one from the GameCube.
Yeah,
on the 3DS.
Yeah, the original. Yeah.
The one from the 3DS was going to the Switch, and then I think this was a new announcement of a new.
Right.
They're just going about this terribly wrong.
Yeah, it's all weird. Because I was gonna say, I think they're putting, because Dark Moon was the sequel, and it was a Switch, or it was a 3DS game when it came out. They're just now putting the first one on the 3DS, and the third one is going to be a Switch title. Okay, fine, whatever. Makes my head hurt. But either way, very cool. I really like Luigi's Mansion, so I'm excited for a third one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I played a little bit of it on the 2DS, and I liked it.
Yeah, it's a fun, kind of simple mechanic, really. They get, and the problem solving is not terribly difficult. The combat's not difficult, but it can. There are times where it really does make you think.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let me ask you. I got a quick. Well, no, we'll get into that in a little bit.
Okay.
But yeah, that's coming 2019. 2019 is going to be stacked.
2019 is going to be a hell of a year.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. We got Kirby's Extra Epic Yarn.
Yeah, going to be on the 3DS coming in 2019. It's going to be like an updated version of Kirby's Epic Yarn. It's basically...
Why is it not on the Switch?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
I'm tired of hearing about 3DS games.
People still... 3DS is still a thriving thing. People still have it.
I wouldn't mind if they did both. It's like, hey, you just got a 3DS? That's fine. Here you go. Hey, if you got a Switch, here you go.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. It's not... I don't know. But yeah, January 11th, 2019. We got a new Mega Man 11, October 2nd, so that's pretty close.
Yeah, that's just, a couple weeks.
Yeah. If only I was good at those games.
Because it's in the old style. Man, the old style was hard.
Yeah.
I love them, but God, I hate them so much. Like, the X games, the X series was hard in a different way, but everything was more fluid. But they ramped up everything else accordingly. So it was still tough, but it wasn't near like the classic series. God, those games were hard. And they did the same thing with 9 and 10 and now 11. Like they're old school Mega Man games and they are hard.
Oh yeah.
They remind you of why people wore out NESs. Like they're just
Man, when does Dragon Ball Z Fighters come out on the Switch?
On the Switch? Was it? Has it
This
not
month,
yet?
right?
God, is it really?
I know that if you pre-order the game, you get Dragon Ball Z Super Boten. Boten. Budotin. I don't know. I can't pronounce it.
What? What?
And it's the only way to get it. It's the Super Nintendo game.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's the only way you can get that game is if you pre-order Dragon Ball Z Fighters, which I'm surprised they didn't end it with showing Goku. But it's okay. We still have a few more months.
Yeah, let's see. I'm gonna talk about that here in a second.
Yeah.
But now, hang on. All right? So when does this come out for Switch? Comes out for Switch
28th
of this month.
This month, yeah.
Yeah, of this month. I'll be damned.
So make sure you pre-order that if you want, because that's apparently the only way to get the game. It's a Super Famicom game, which is Super Nintendo, obviously, but and it's the only way to get it. Now, I imagine, here's my theory, that sometime during the next Direct,
You are trying so hard.
they will either talk about getting that standalone, or they'll talk about like the expansion pack for Dragon Ball Z Fighters and who's all coming to it, and that's when they'll do the turn.
No.
And they'll say he's also coming too. We'll see.
No, because the big Goku news was they announced his blue form for what was it? Jump.
For Jump?
Yeah.
Was that in this?
It wasn't in this. It was like today they announced it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who cares about that? But yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, for Jump Force. Yeah, his the Super Saiyan blue form.
Oh, it's so silly. Yellow, blue, red. They need to switch it. They really need to switch up his look. I'm tired of just the different color hair. I liked that when they went to Super Saiyan Gen 3, he looked different. And then 4 and GT, I thought he looked incredible.
I love the design of 4.
Yeah,
I really did.
For Super, it's like, let's just do every color.
Yeah. I really, like, I hate the idea of, like, how they got to 4, but like, that was so dumb. But I love the look. Yeah. I really did, because, like you said, it was different.
It's very different. They were all so different. The hair changes everything, and, like, it was cool to see Vegeta with that, too.
Yeah.
And it always made it like, what is it going to look like next? But now I'm just like, okay, we're going to get, like, a see-through yellow, or a polka dotted like orange. Like, it's come on, make it look a little bit different. Like, have a transformation go on, not just hair color change. Yeah. After an hour of screaming. I'm sorry, I'm bitter with that. I thought it was so boring. But I don't know. But anyway, where were we? Mario Tennis Aces.
Yeah, they're gonna get some new characters: Birdo, Shy Guy, the Paracoopa, and Petey Piranha, which is a pull that I like. And they're getting a co-op challenge, and that's actually out now as you're listening to this. So,
there you go.
Very, very cool indeed. The Mario Tennis games were always my favorite of the Mario sports games.
Oh yeah.
Like I couldn't get into
the Mario Kart.
I never counted kart as kart was its own thing.
Like a sports game.
But I've always meant because they did soccer and golf and tennis. I always looked.
What are you trying to say about racing golf? I'm just giving you a hard time.
Yeah.
Like,
it's because racing transcends these little stick and ball sports. It's on its own level.
Yeah. You know what the problem with a lot of these games are, though?
Toad? No, I'm kidding.
Oh, God.
That's a topical reference.
Did you see Nintendo of America tweeted today?
No, what did they tweet?
Just a whole bunch of dots. And then at the very end, a picture of Toad off at the bottom. Smile.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh.
Just a line of dots going down, and then a little Toad.
And then Toad at the bottom.
And he's so tiny in it, too.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh.
Just a happy little Toad poking out the bottom.
Oh, God bless Nintendo for that.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit, that's like actual Nintendo of America.
Yeah, that's not a. Oh man, is that? I wonder. I gotta check and see if that tweet's still up.
Oh, I'm sure it is.
I want to see. Like, did they actually? Like, was that something that got tweeted and then somebody went, no, you can't do that, or did they?
I think so. I think it's still up. Yeah, we can go for that.
Oh, that's so good. Nintendo of America. Let me see. And no, that's Just Dance. That's something else. That's something else.
Is it not up anymore? They took it down?
I don't see it, man.
Oh wow.
I do not see it.
Oh wow.
I don't see it at all. It's not here.
Hold on.
No. Nah, it's not here.
Wait a second here.
That's a bummer. Are you now? You're positive it was like official Nintendo of America?
Yeah, I clicked the link and it brought up Nintendo of America on Twitter.
Okay.
Oh.
I have to like.
Maybe they took it down. I don't know, or maybe it just looked like the official one, and I'm an idiot.
That's
That's probably what happened.
That's what I'm more inclined to think happened.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. Oh. I don't think so.
Because it was funny. It was just a whole bunch of dots and then a little toad. But oh man.
Yeah, I don't see it, man.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Damn. Well.
That's a bummer, because that would have been like the most awesome thing ever.
That would have been great. Let's see here.
But
where were we?
Anyway, Capcom is doing a what are they calling it? The Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle, which is basically like a bunch of Capcom side-scrolling beat 'em up games that you've never heard of.
Mm-hmm.
And it's out now. It was like they were games that I've never heard of in my life. I think there was one that I knew. I don't even like. Was there a Streets of Rage in there? And like that was the only one I recognized.
Okay, just to back up a second.
Yeah, you found it, didn't you?
I found it. The problem is, it's from 2015. That's what it was. That's what threw me off, because it was a link to this exact. I just linked it to you on Messenger, Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
But it pulled up the Twitter. It said Nintendo of America, has the check mark, it has all the dots, it has Toad. I didn't look at the date.
Yeah, that's God. What was this from? Was this from something to do with like Captain Toad Treasure Hunter or whatever the hell that was?
Probably, yeah. Yeah. And then look at the first reply.
I see it.
Yeah.
God. Oh.
Anyway.
This tweet's aged well.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So anyway.
Alright, yeah, the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle includes... It doesn't say. Final Fight, which is the one that I knew, I think. Captain Commando, The King of Dragons, Knights of the Round, Warriors of Fate, and then Armored Warriors and Battle Circuit, which have never been on console before.
Okay. I'm down for some beat 'em ups.
Yeah, I mean,
the problem is the goats aren't there.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. But
I wish Disney would just do like now that they own X-Men and they own, Darkwing Duck obviously, but they also own the Disney movie ones. They own Star Wars. Give me I know they did this with like a few of them. It was like the Sunday morning bundle or whatever.
Yeah.
But take all of the franchises that you now own that were on Super Nintendo and put them out as a release.
Right, just release that bundle for $30.
Disney on Disney in the 90s. Whatever. Come up with some clever way of calling it whatever you want. Put all the Super Star Warses in there. Put the Lion King, put Aladdin in there. Put all of these kind of side scrollers, not beat 'em ups, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The beat 'em ups, man. Give me some Ninja Turtles.
Yep.
Whew, give me the Simpsons. Like, I want some of those. Those are my two favorite arcades for beat 'em ups: is Ninja Turtles and Simpsons, and I can't play them anywhere.
And the X-Men.
And the X-Men. Oh yeah, and the X-Men. Yeah, how could I forget that? Yep, those are the three big ones. And if there's some side ones like the Spider-Man and stuff like that, those are always cool. The Punisher was cool. I liked one from the SNES that I guess people didn't like, which was, I think, Terminator and RoboCop. They teamed up.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about that one either.
I liked that one, man. That sticks out in my head. That one, the Spider-Man games, of course, those beat 'em ups need to be on something.
Yeah.
But we're never gonna. It's how many years? It's been a few years now for the Switch being out. We're still not. Nothing. Nope.
I think that with online now and the bounding success that they're going to have with the NES classics, I think we're gonna have.
We need the SNES on there.
Yeah, we're gonna start getting more of that. It's gonna take a while, but they'll get there.
Because don't get me wrong, the NES games are cool and all, but they're not the SNES games.
Yeah.
I think nostalgia is going to play a big part in all of this, and people are not, they're gonna play some of those old Nintendo games. They're gonna be like, oh, this isn't what I remember. Like Mario is gonna hold up and a few other ones, but they're gonna be like, oh shit, like it was the SNES that that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
A lot more. And I don't know, all the sorts of rights issues that they're gonna have. It's gonna be impossible to kind of play some of those games.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately.
So I hope Disney does some sort of deal with them. I'll pay $60 for here's all the Disney games that came out on the SNES. That would be perfect, including the Star Wars and Marvel games that now they own the rights to. I don't know.
Well,
I don't even know how that would work because it didn't studio. I don't know.
That's the thing, is what studio they went through.
Oh,
that's the fun thing.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know, but
yeah. So anyway, did you also see the Genesis bundle? Well, that's not a part of all this. I guess we'll talk about that afterwards.
Yeah, that was. I think they.
Yeah,
they just announced that today. I think.
Yeah. But it's a lot of games that I don't care about.
Yeah.
It's like, that's cool. That's awesome. That's there, and it's like $60 is what we're talking about. But it's a lot of games that I don't care about.
Yeah.
There was like 2 of the classic Sonic games on there, plus like Sonic Spinball or something, or whatever it was.
Oh, I love Sonic Spinball.
Did you see that they're bringing over new Super Mario Brothers U Deluxe Plus Edition × 2 Max?
Ultra? Electric Boogaloo? Like,
yeah.
So,
RS, like Apple's naming them. Yeah, dude, I've never played this game.
They're fun. It's old school. It's old school Mario, but with newer. Like, I mean, it's like the old like platformers, like the 2D stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we're almost 2 years now on the Switch, and this will be the first 2D Mario game. And hey, I haven't played it. I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I hear it's great, and I think a lot of people didn't play this game for obvious reasons. So I'm excited. I can understand people being a little upset because people who bought the Wii U feel a little burned, but hey, I'm excited.
It was fun. I enjoyed it. I look forward to it on the Switch, especially since it's also including all the stuff from Super Luigi U, which I think is fantastic. It's just gonna mean this is gonna have a hell of a lot of content. Like,
I'm surprised it's coming out January 11th. And not like Christmas time.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you.
It seems a bit odd, right? But I guess they got some big. I mean, I think Pokemon's the big one this year.
I think they have one that's a little bit bigger. Oh.
Wait, what's coming out this year? Oh yeah, Smash Bros.
I think that's your big one. Yeah, I mean, not to downplay Pokemon, but I think of the two, like
no, I agree. That's going to be the big one. In my heart, it's the Pokemon, but yes, I agree. Smash is the one everyone's talking about that is just can't wait to get their hands on. But yeah, so that's awesome news. Like, you know what? I want the Mario Maker on the Switch. That's the one that I think would thrive on the Switch.
I think you could do that pretty easily.
Yep, absolutely. Especially with the touchscreen and everything. You just kind of build your own levels and stuff. I think it'd be great. But yeah, so January 11th for that. So, hey, it's like, what's that? What's that channel? It's like, it's new TV, but it's new to you or something like that. Well, I don't know. I forgot what channel did that.
Yeah. Oh, hell.
But anyway, but yeah, so I'm excited. If there's some 2D Mario. The Nintendo Switch Online. is online now. September 18th is when it came on. They showed off a lot of that about the online play, the NES classics, which we talked about how it's going to be like a Netflix service where you just, as long as you pay for the Switch Online, you have access to their growing NES library that they're going to keep adding to it. And what's cool about it is you can play online with other people for the very first time with a lot of these games. With all of them, actually. I don't think, unless they've done it like where you can play online on the Wii U or something like that, but I don't think so. I think this is like the first time.
I think this is the first, yeah.
Which is going to be neat to be able to play, Super Mario Brothers or something with someone, states away, or across the world, maybe. I don't know. How do you think they separate this? Do you think it's regional?
I think it might have to be.
I think it has to be regional. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
So let me take that back. Let me go back just a moment. But that's awesome though. Like you play with your buddy, living a few states away. Some Mario or your brother or sister or whatnot. So I thought that was cool. Did you see the NES controller?
I did, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. That's a neat and completely unnecessary peripheral that you don't have to have, but if you want it, there you go.
It's a D-pad. That's what everyone's kind of wanting.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome. I'm looking forward to the Super Nintendo one that they come out with. Hopefully when they do that, because that controller is that's aces.
Yeah.
The NES one does not hold up well because the how edged it was.
Yeah.
The SNES was definitely an improvement. But yeah, you get the set of two for $60. So makes sense. So you can sit with someone and play, which is awesome. It's going to have cloud saves. We talked about that before, how some of the games are not going to support it, like Pokemon and Splatoon. So just be warned about that. So just, going into it knowing that. But yeah, so for most of the games, you'll be able to use cloud saves and the NSO app. So what's the NSO app?
It's a little smartphone app. It's basically your voice chat.
Yeah, through the phone.
Yeah, you just use your smartphone to do it instead of it being a thing from because there's no headset to use or whatever.
Well, what sucks is you have to plug it into your phone and the system, right?
Oh, do you?
I think you do. I don't think you can just plug it directly in your phone.
Huh.
It's like some weird, complicated thing.
Okay, well that's, I don't have a Switch, so I don't know.
It is the worst thing I've ever seen for a company to be like, this is how you're going to talk to people.
Yeah.
It's got a dongle where you plug it into your phone, and you plug it into your Switch, and you can talk to people.
It's because Nintendo still hasn't really figured out online play.
People are just going to do Discord. I mean, no one's going to download this app.
No,
people are just going to download Discord, hop on with your friends, talk to them while they're playing Spider-Man and you're playing, Fortnite on the Switch. Which is crazy, because here's the kicker. Fortnite on the Switch, you plug your headset into the Switch. That's all you do.
Yes, yeah, just, whatever.
I remember when that came out, people were like, what? We were told this is impossible. And the other thing about Fortnite, because they're like, oh yeah, you don't have to pay for online to play.
Yeah, it's not. You don't have to have NSO to play it.
They're just doing whatever they want at this point. I think it's crazy. It's like they were #1 draft, and they made their own rules. They're the Brock Lesnar of video games right now.
Oh,
they
man.
just do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Because it's like, when I heard that you could just plug in your headset and just talk to somebody using the in-game chat, like, what? Why can't we do that with the other games? Oh, man. But I think it all is because it's all server-based with them, with Fortnite. A lot of these other games are not, which is why I think is the issue with the cloud saves. Like, there's not a server for Pokemon. There's not a server for these other games, So I don't know. But we'll see. But anyway, so that's the online stuff. So it's $20 a year. That to me,
That's
paying for the NES Classic that's worth it.
Yeah, that's done by itself. That's it.
Yeah,
like
everything else is just kind of extra.
Yeah, and that's for a year.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me? Like,
yep.
Now, if only they would have Netflix.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. That's coming. It's for sure coming.
Now, if you're going to watch Netflix, are you going to have to, like, watch it on your phone and plug, like, a USB cable into your Switch and have, like, a different aux cable for your headphones? How is that going to work?
Right? Exactly. What are they thinking?
How that didn't drop when it started, I'll never know. Because it was on the Wii U day and date.
Yeah.
And so I just don't understand how this... I don't get it, man.
Yeah, Hulu.
Yeah, I don't... That's another thing. It's not like they don't have other streaming platforms. There's no Netflix. I don't get that. I don't understand.
The Switch is... It is so of two different coins, or two-sided coin. It is to me one of my favorite systems, but at the same time, when you really look at it, like, you can't even customize the UI right now. You can't even have a fucking background on it.
Yeah.
Your choices are black and white for what color the background is. On my 3DS, I can make it Pikachus and balloons. Or whatever the new, persona on the 3DS is. Like, there's a new theme every week. With the Switch, there's nothing like that. It's at the same time amazing, and also like, where's all this other stuff that should be day and date, like you said?
Yeah.
Netflix should be on there. HBO Go should be on there. I think YouTube's on there. I forget. I don't think YouTube's on there. Maybe it is. I don't know. I haven't looked at that. But, like, all of that should be... No, I don't think it is. All of that should be on there. I think Hulu is the only thing that I remember being on there for that. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, these are some fairly... I don't know.
Crunchyroll, like, all of that should be there.
But on the flip side of this, though, I don't mind that they decided to say, you know what, everybody else, we're going to worry about games first.
But it's their first hybrid.
Yeah.
That should have those mobile applications on it. If anything.
I don't disagree with you, but I also think, I think there was a mindset of everybody already has 12 other ways to do that. They don't have a way to play the new Mario game.
I'm telling you, my friends' kids, I love using them as kind of a prime example.
Yeah.
They play Pokemon, but 90% of their use of the 3DS is watching YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's fair.
They'll just sit and watch YouTube videos, and maybe that's what Nintendo saw too. Like, hey, they're just using this to watch YouTube. We should probably take that off. I don't get it. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I want to hear a good reason why it's not there, not just silence.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's the infuriating thing, is that we don't know why. Yeah,
it is. But anyway, we got Yoshi's Crafted World, spring 2019.
Yeah, we skipped town.
Oh yeah, we skipped a few things. Diablo 3 Eternal Collection.
That on a Switch? Talk me through this, because I am in the dark on how a game like this would play on the Switch.
You just bring it. Diablo is very stylized anyway, so it looks like that's what happened with this. It's super stylized, and they brought Diablo 3 came out years ago.
I don't mean graphically. I mean the mechanics of it.
Well, how could it not? What do you mean then?
Because I keep thinking of, whenever I see a game like this, I keep thinking of, like, the old Command and Conquer games on a console, and how, like, it just felt clunky.
Oh, no.
Like, it felt awful to use, to work with those kind of controls on a console, because I haven't played a Diablo.
That was an RTS, though. Command and Conquer is an RTS, where Diablo is more, it's a dungeon crawler, so you could totally, it's the same thing on a console. Have you played on the PlayStation?
No, I haven't played, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how Diablo plays, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Because I see, like, when I think PC game like that, I think of menus and hotkeys and things that have to be customized 15 ways to Sunday.
Yeah, no. So,
okay.
So no, I mean it's a dungeon crawler.
Okay.
So basically, you're gonna have, you're gonna have each. So like if let's say your PlayStation controller, for example, you're going to have all the buttons for square, triangle, and all of that mapped out to 4 main moves, right?
Okay.
You're going to have 2 moves at the top, L1, R1. You press them together, it does a special move.
Okay.
That's really it. Like, you have like 6 or 7 mapped out moves, and that's all you have, just like on the PC.
Okay.
And it's certain hotkeys, or certain, like, I forget which, but like you hold down something and then you press L1. I don't know. But it's very simple. If you pick this up, never playing a Diablo game, you'll understand it because it eases its way into it. You start out with 1 or 2 moves, and then you play a few minutes with that. Eventually, you'll unlock more moves, and just like the Spider-Man game, I imagine, by the end of it, you're a wizard with it. You're doing all these crazy combos and stuff like that. So that's kind of how it is. The stuff that they do that is where it's like, this is super PC, and now we got to bring it to console, is when you're gearing him up. So like you go into a character menu, and there will be a circle around the character, and it will have all these different, like the head piece, the arms, the legs, and so it's like you just kind of move the stick around, and it moves it to each item, and then you can pick the item, you can destroy it, you can put whatever crystal into it and socket it, basically is what it's called. But yeah, the play-by-play is you're moving around with I believe the left stick, looking with the right, like it's in directional. It's just like any other game where it's a third-person dungeon crawler on the PlayStation.
Right.
I play a lot of the Demon Hunter, so it's a lot of shooting his bow. So like it's just a top-down twin-stick shooter basically at that point. That's literally what it is a top-down twin-stick shooter. And some of the, you'll hold R1, L1, will do like traps and stuff like that. So you'll drop them and then you'll shoot around. So you get very used to it. So yeah, no, this could totally be on the Switch.
Excellent.
Yeah. So okay, so hold on. So the 4 skills on the triangle, square, X, circle. R1 is skill 5, R2 is skill 6. L2 is target lock. L1 is health potion. And then you have your fast equip on the directional up, town portal directional right, map directional down, and then move on the left, evade on the right, and then the character menu is select, and game menu is the I don't know, the thing in the middle. So yeah, so it's just mapped out like that. And then it's a series of dungeons. It's a series of levels. You go deeper and deeper into hell, and all sorts of stuff happens. And what's crazy about Diablo is it's super replayable. They have seasons and stuff like that. That gets into the in-game stuff where you're getting crazy about getting more and better gear for your character and doing randomized dungeons to get loot, and elevating the difficulty of each one of them. So it gets super difficult, and so each season they'll introduce more different kind of gear. So it's a game that if you really want to dive into and just constantly play, you could if you wanted to. Or it's a game that you just play through the game and be done with it.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that's kind of Blizzard. That's how they made it so addictive, is people like doing the just the dungeon crawling. But yeah, to me, it really opens it up. Like, I want more Blizzard games on there. Like, now that Diablo's there, man, we need a Hearthstone. Heroes of the Storm would be fantastic on it. They could do Overwatch if they brought it down a little bit, maybe made it a little bit more stylized. But yeah, I don't know. I'm excited. I'm gonna be getting it, of course, for the millionth time. But
Yeah.
it looks great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Let me dig up. I dug up a part of a Q&A with Scott Myrer, who's the VP of Device Partnerships over at Netflix.
Okay.
They asked him about the Switch, and he said in the case of the Switch, they, meaning Nintendo, were very focused at launch not on video use cases, but on gaming cases. Video was not a priority for them.
Wow.
So they were focused on this is going to be a game machine first, and eventually it'll be there eventually. It has to be. But I think I think it's smart that they've delayed it, especially since they had online capabilities at first that were free, and now you have to pay for it. And if you took Netflix, which you had at launch, and decided to lock it behind that paywall, that would suck. But how would you not put it behind that wall if you had it free at first? I don't know. They're gonna have the online out for a couple months, and they'll get the big bugs worked out of it, and then they'll drop Netflix. That'll be like, Merry Christmas, here's Netflix.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. That's what they should be doing.
I think we'll see Netflix before E3 next year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think so too. Oh yeah. Did you see the Game Freaks RPG, the town?
Yeah, it's interesting. It all takes place in one town, and it's not a big it's not like New York either. Like, it's a town. It's a little village kind of place.
Little JRPG village.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Game Freak doing something different. I'll check it out.
Well, that's the crazy thing. They've been doing things different. They're just none of it's good except for the Pokemon stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
They had that horse racing game.
They had a horse racing game?
Oh yeah.
I see. That's the other thing. I don't know anything that Game Freak has done other than Pokemon.
And that's bingo.
Yeah.
That's going to tell you about, but what I think this game might be. It looks cool.
It looks really neat.
Yeah, no, it's called a Pocket Card Jockey, and it's a card game, but it's like racing horses.
Okay, yeah, sure.
It was like $4 for the 3DS, and it's probably their best game outside of Pokemon, which says a lot.
Okay, I want to look back through this for the last. When did they start? All right, so Pokemon Red and Blue was 96.
Yes.
Since then, they've done Pokemon Yellow, Pokemon Gold and Silver, Click Medic, Pokemon Crystal, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, Fire Red and Leaf Green, Emerald, a game called Drill Dozer. Then they did Diamond and Pearl, Platinum, Heart Gold and Soul Silver, Black and White, Black 2 and White 2, a game called Harmonite, Pocket Card Jockey, X and Y, Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I'm going to skip this when I come back to it because this makes me laugh. Sun and Moon, something called Giga Wrecker, never heard of it. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, Pokemon Quest, Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, the next big Pokemon game, and Town. Mm-hmm. So they have done, since they started doing Pokemon, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 not Pokemon games in 22 years.
And you couldn't name one of them. Look,
no.
ClickBank doesn't even have a link.
No, it doesn't. But Tembo the Badass Elephant does.
Yeah.
I am sorry I missed... No, I played this game. I didn't know this was Game Freak.
Wait, what?
I played this game, Tembo the Badass Elephant.
Tembo the Badass Elephant.
I played this. I didn't know it was Game Freak. I did. I played this game.
How old is it?
3 years.
Let's see. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's from 2015. Yeah. I remember this. I remember this game.
I remember that. I've never seen that.
Yeah.
So, okay. Oh, 8 out of 7, not bad. They started out as a video game magazine.
Game Freak. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Which is kind of crazy. Imagine having an issue of Game Freak.
God,
I remember I saw a little thing on YouTube, and they were talking about how, they just were like, hey, we love video games. Let's just make a magazine. And they print it out, on pieces of not cardboard, but like just pieces of colored paper,
Wow.
and sold it as a magazine. Yeah, like it almost looked like construction paper. That's crazy. And then now, making some of the biggest video games of all time.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's wild, yeah. Ah, man, next year's gonna be huge.
Next year is gonna suck for everybody's bank account. Like, no joke.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. We talked about Yoshi's Crafted World, spring 2019. This was huge for me when I saw this. The tabletop games.
Because this is why we are going to eventually get Hearthstone.
Yes.
And it's why I am waiting to see when they announce Gwent for the Switch.
Yeah.
Because it's going to happen. Because this was massive. I looked at this and I thought, God, this is perfect.
Oh, this is you're good on this. I'm going to have windows real fast.
Yeah. But I just, as soon as I saw, like, oh, and we're doing tabletop gaming. Okay, things like what? Well, like Carcassonne. Okay, you have my attention. Lord of the Rings living card game. Yeah. Never heard of it, but okay, sure, whatever.
But that just opens the door for how many living card games have been out there.
Exactly.
Game of Thrones won, Yep. I doubt Star Wars because of EA, but they have one.
I'm gonna say this knowing that it cannibalizes part of their revenue stream, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Pokemon, the trading card game.
Yes. Oh, no, dude. I know you're saying it cannibalizes, but it's huge. Did you know you can play Pokemon online right now on your computer?
Yes.
Yeah, like through your web browser or like iPad or whatever. Like,
yeah,
and it's fun. It's super fun.
It is, because there's like a weird. It's not really like a story mode per se, but there is like a single player mode to it.
Yeah.
And
you get decks, and you play against other decks, and like I popped on Twitch for a few hours and watched people play because I was like, I want to get back into it, but I want to see how people are playing it and kind of what the meta is and stuff. And oh boy, and it's exciting. I was watching some of the streamers, and I was in it. I was like, this was back when they were doing Worlds a few weeks ago.
Yeah,
and I was excited because I didn't know any of the meta. I don't know 99% of these cards because I only played Pokemon for the first few sets.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I was there. Yeah. I got out when they started introducing like the stadium cards, like the gym cards. I was like, that's just kind of when I fell off of it. I was like, I was there through like the Team Rocket expansion, and I think that was the last one. No, it was Gym Leaders. It was when they started introducing Gym Leader cards. Yeah. That was the last that I was in it. Yeah, it's nuts now. It's crazy.
Well, they started, man, so about a year ago, they re-released all the original cards.
I know. I saw that.
And I'm glad I wasn't in full Pokemon mode at that time.
Because you'd have bought every damn one.
I would have bought every one. I would have bought every single one of them. And now they have a new set coming out, and it's the biggest trading card set they've ever done. I think there's like 200 and some odd cards at once. And I'm just like, I can't. I'm going to stick to Pokemon Go. That's going to be the thing that I throw myself into.
There you go.
Because even if I spend $10 and get a bunch of stuff for the eggs or whatever, I'm still outside exercising. I'm still meeting people. I'm still every day sweating my ass off, and I can justify it with that. But getting cards, especially there's no one that I can play with, I can't justify that kind of just. Oh man, but it's. Man, because I've gone down the rabbit hole of YouTube channels and watched people take out a fresh pack and open it up, and the feeling and the hearing the paper.
Yeah.
Oh, and then they get close up on the card and it's so shiny. Oh, it makes you like shit. Like, I should not waste this money. I need to get toilet paper. But that is an awesome looking freaking card. So yeah, it's oh man, problems, first world problems.
I know, right? No kidding.
Yeah, but man, it's if I had just a crazy amount of money that I would totally start getting back into that, but I can't justify it at all. It would have been cool to get like the entire original set, but at the same time, I'm glad I didn't get back into it during that time frame because I would have killed myself trying to do that.
Yeah, right.
My buddy did, though. My buddy has the original set.
Nice.
Yeah. So, like, well, that's cool. I'm jealous. That's awesome. But yeah. I do still have my old cards. It's just nowhere close to having the whole thing.
Yeah, I've got a binder here somewhere. I gave a lot of mine away years and years and years ago.
I'm sure I did too. I lost some playing it, man. But yeah. But anyway, always goes back to Pokemon. Sorry about that. But yeah, man, the fact that we can have these kind of games in there with what's the application called? I forget what it was called. Started with an A.
No, that was the company. That was the
company. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the company that's helping do all these games. Yes. I can find it. Give me a minute. But yeah, like the idea of just here are all these games coming to Switch. These tabletop games that are coming to Switch. And it's
Pandemic, March 2019. Lord of the Rings, April 2019.
Yeah, and they're doing Catan. I mean, Catan, come on, like that's...
I actually still have an entire because a few years back, I say a few years, but it was probably like 2013, 2014, before Hearthstone came out. Let me look up what year Hearthstone came out. Card game. Hearthstone came out.
What, 2012, 13? No, earlier than that.
Yeah. 2014.
14. Damn, that's close.
Yes. So
wow, that's all. I feel like Hearthstone's been out a lot longer than that.
It probably was out about a year before that with the beta and everything.
Yeah, I guess.
I played the beta for like at least a year. But before all of that, there was the Warcraft card game.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And me and my buddy played that. And I have a whole thing full of it. Yeah, it's just like it's exactly like Pokemon, basically. Yeah, or more like I guess Magic the Gathering. But that so that on 2013 it was discontinued. So yeah, we started playing it about a year before it was discontinued, and I was so disappointed because I was like, why would this be discontinued? This is so awesome. This is like it started in 2010, I guess. I was like the art on these cards, like Blizzard does the artwork like no one else, no one's business. And we were obsessed with the game, always have been. So we started playing the cards, and we were living together. And so, bro, we spent all of our time playing this game whenever like we were bored or whatever. Yeah, and then it just they stopped making it, so that sucked. But it was fun. But yeah, 2013.
Wow, damn, yeah. Asmodee is the name of the company.
Asmodee, gotcha.
Yeah.
But now it makes sense why it was discontinued, of course, because now they have Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Which it takes a little bit away from it. Hearthstone is so different because on Hearthstone it's a tiny image of a character, and then it just says like plus this minus this. It's like so bare bones. Where the World of Warcraft trading card game was like it had this beautiful piece of artwork, and then below it had like things you can do, things there was much more to it, kind of like Magic the Gathering.
Yeah.
I prefer that over Hearthstone. Is just like the quick and easy, like in and out, boom, 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 boom. I don't know. It takes a little bit of that magic away from it, I guess. I don't know. Another cool thing about it was you could get cards like the Spectral Tiger, and it had a code on it.
Okay.
And so the only way to get that Spectral Tiger in the game as a mount was to get this card.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. And so I don't know. Hearthstone took so much from it, like the way that they have the hit points and its life and everything else like that. But there's little things about that I just absolutely love. So I don't know. But anyway, where were we? Card games on the Switch, absolutely. I know they're not going to get the Star Wars right, so I'm not going to get my hopes up to do those kind of games because EA does that. But could you imagine if like X-Wing was on here?
Right? Just the options for this are boundless.
Oh yeah,
you know,
because there's a ton of or you know what I would love? Battlestar Galactica on here. Have you played the card game
no,
or the board game? Man, next time you're going to Florida, we should play it. I have it just sitting here. That's my problem. Is I have these board games. I don't have anyone to play it.
No one to play. Yeah, that's why. Like every time I walk by, like every time I go down that aisle, I'm like, oh, this would be great if I had friends.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. My friends just aren't into it, so it pisses me off.
Yeah.
I can't get Steph to play that. Like I need you here. You need to move to Florida. If I could get just a couple of people to do it, it would be so much better to have like a board game night,
Yeah.
every other week or once a month where everyone just gets together and plays it. I love that idea, but I can never get anyone. Some people are like, well, that sounds like a great idea, but they don't. That's all it comes up at.
Yeah.
But man, it would be because I have them all sitting here. The X-Wing and stuff like that. The X-Wing, you only need one other person. That's why I think the X-Wing game especially would be perfect on here. But I don't know. I would love if EA or since they have the right if they did that, but they're not
going to. No, they never will.
Nope. But anyway, Civilization, November 16th.
Yeah, God, that is a coup on so many levels, but it's also like, oh yeah, because these are games that can last for literally years.
Oh yeah, Civilization's perfect on the Switch.
Civ is one that you can play on a commute and go and that can be your commute for the year.
Oh yeah.
Genuinely no joke. I've talked to people who don't know what, they are vaguely aware of Civ, and I'm like, Civ is a strategy game that consumes your entire soul if you let it.
If you want it, they have done a lot to make it where you can do a lot quicker matches.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean that's
But if you want to get the most out of it, yes, that's something. I know a lot of people that just play Civ.
Yeah.
That they grew up playing PC games and life is getting in the way for them, like most of us, and they'll just play Civ because that's just something easy and they know it. It's it's like chess to them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's awesome. I thought there was a huge game. Same with the City Skylines.
Yeah, that's one
builder game on the Switch.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting thing too.
I love city builders.
I
absolutely love.
I see. That was something I could never get into. I tried my heart out, but it just wasn't for me.
It's relaxing. It's so relaxing. And then 3 hours later, you're looking at your city. It's running beautifully. The electric is going to every person in the city, and the water is flowing. The trash is being taken out. And, there's something relaxing about that game.
And then there's a tornado and a flood and Bowser.
No, you don't have to do that. You can turn all that off.
No, I know. I'm just like,
yeah, no, I don't play with that. That would piss me off. You do that at the end. You're like, all right, let's destroy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get as complex with it as you want, or you can be like, no, I'm just gonna pull a little neighborhood over here. We're gonna pull a little neighborhood over there. Oh, we're gonna nice this neighbor up over here. We're gonna build these towers. Like, it's just relaxing. I don't know. I never thought I would get into those games, and I played them rarely through my childhood, but I remember it was the last SimCity, the one everyone hated because it had to be online. I really enjoyed.
Well, because once they took it offline.
Yeah, but that didn't bother me. I had high-speed internet connection. I understand people getting upset about it, but that never bothered me with it, and I enjoyed the hell out of it.
That's fair.
Yeah, and you know what it was? I watched some Jesse Cox videos. It was right around the time where I never really got into streamers, and then I watched Jesse Cox, and he's hilarious. He is. You ever watch, not necessarily streamers, but comedians or stuff like that, and you're like, I align with a lot of what this person's saying.
Yeah.
Like, I see a little bit of my humor, especially in this person, so it makes me like them a lot more. That's Jesse Cox to me, if that makes sense. He just happens to have a red beard. He's a bigger guy. Like, there's a lot about him where I was like, I get this dude. If I ever met him, I could probably have a really good conversation with him. So like when I saw him do the SimCity videos, that's kind of what I was like, oh, I need to play this. And and it's that it's to me that's why I think people, personalities and stuff on YouTube and podcasts, whatever, are so important for this stuff, because you see yourself in someone else like that, and you're like, I would have never played that game, and then that's all you can think about, and that's what I did. I ended up getting SimCity and played it for months. But yeah, anyway, sorry. But yeah, no. So yeah, City Skylines. I never played City Skylines. I've only played the SimCity, but it looks just the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, actually, I do think I have City Skylines. It's just been a while. I had a phase where I was really into those kind of games. So, looking forward to that in Switch, man. Where were we? Sorry, I'm all over the place.
The World Ends With You, final remix.
You ever play this?
Huh?
You ever play this?
I did not.
I did not either.
Yeah, coming October 12th. Cool. Rock on. The Xenoblade Chronicles 2 prequel, I think. Expansion. Okay. The way that they talked about it, I don't know. I don't follow the Xenoblade Chronicles stuff.
Pretty good RPG on the Switch.
That's kind of why I included it. Was just like, I know these are good. That's the extent of my Xenoblade Chronicles knowledge.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Torna, the Golden Country. The way they talked about it was like it was set, what did they say, like 500 years before or something? Or 100 years before, something to do with hundreds.
Oh.
But anyway, it's cool. It comes out Friday. So, good for them, 21st.
Cool.
And then we got to the big news at the end of this.
Yeah.
They announced that there's going to be a Smash Switch console bundle, which of course there was always going to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to come out November 2nd, and people immediately freaked out. That's a month before the game comes out, but you're giving the game away for that. No, they're not. They're including a download code, which I don't know if you can go ahead and redeem it early or not, but regardless, like, you don't get the game until it comes out. Bottom line. But, it's $360, which is the price of the Switch and the game. So, you're paying, you get the stylized console and the Joy-Cons, and it's like, oh, well, that's neat, but you're not overpaying. You're getting a Switch and a game, and it's just a special edition Switch at no extra charge, which, cool, go for it. Why not?
Yep.
Comes out in, what's that, 6 weeks? Something like that. So, cool, good for them. I had so much fun, and and this was wrong, but I had a ton of fun doing this the other day, because I'd worked my morning job, I'd worked my pizza job, and came home and was not gonna work Sunday night because the roads were flooded up here.
Mm-hmm.
Not terrible. We didn't get really that bad, but some of the lower lying areas around here got flooded to the point where it was like, nope, I'm not. I'd have to drive through this to go to my other job, and sorry, it's just not going to happen. Mm-hmm. I had this free time. What do I do with this free time? Well, I'll call GameStop and see if they have this bundle available for pre-order. And they didn't have it at any of the two here, and they didn't have it at a couple of the ones in Orlando. They didn't have it at any of the ones that I called in Biloxi or Kansas City or LA or I just started cold calling GameStop all over the place because I was so bored. I dialed up the country accent so much. And I just cold called. I think I called like 50 GameStops.
Wow.
And not all, I didn't hit every state because I didn't care if they had it in Montana or not. Although, I was kind of tempted. I was just I called so many GameStops. So if anybody at any of those GameStops happens to hear this, it was it wasn't a waste of time. I don't think, because I wasn't being stupid. But if it was like, who was the like really country sounding dude who called up here about the Switch bundle? That was me. I was just so bored.
Wow.
And I don't know why, but I had Google Maps up on my laptop, and I was like, where am I gonna call next? But it was a fun way to kill some time.
Yeah, that's funny.
And it was like 15 minutes out of my day, like maybe 20 minutes, like because most of them pulled it up and they were like, "Well, we're not seeing it in here." Well, it says it on your app that I can pre-order it, so but you can't do it in the store. It's not giving us the option in the store. All right, well, thank you. But just the idea, like I just love the idea behind it. It was like, where am I gonna call next? Let's see. Let's call Boston. Why not?
Yeah.
I was bored, what am I gonna do? So
you think you're gonna be getting a Switch between now and then?
Dude, come on, let's. No, I looked at this and I thought this is a cool bundle, if that's something you want. But like, if I don't know, like,
what's gonna be the breaking point for you to get the Switch?
This would be it. No lie. The breaking point was when the Switch came out. Let's be, seriously. Like if I could have gotten one by now, I would have. No question.
Gotcha.
If for nothing else, then for Super Mario Odyssey, because I haven't played. Because I missed Galaxy. Like I'm
telling you, man, the Switch games is everything the PlayStation's missing right now.
Yeah. No, Nintendo has absolutely dominated when it comes to like, especially first parties. There's no question about it.
There's nothing like Zelda on the PlayStation right now. There's nothing like Mario.
I don't know, man. Spider-Man though, like
Spider-Man's different. Spider-Man is something PlayStation this whole generation has been missing, it seems like, because there's no superhero games like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so before Spider-Man, I mean.
Yeah, but
don't get me wrong, PlayStation, I mean, God of War, there's a lot of games right now on the PlayStation that are amazing.
But I mean, Nintendo just consistently, Mario, Zelda, all of the other little stuff they've been cranking out, like all the Yoshi and the Kirby stuff, the Rabbids game, the Mario Rabbids game. I mean, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
There's no question that they've just been killing it. No way.
Yeah.
But it's just it's crazy. The last not a 2D Mario game that I played was Sunshine for the GameCube. That's how long it's been. Like, I missed everything on the Wii.
Wait, you didn't play the one on the 3DS? Oh, that was a really good game.
What was it on the What one was on the 3DS?
Super Mario World 3D, I think.
Really? There was I didn't know. Like, I didn't know about that one.
Yeah, and I remember it emphasized the 3 because he had the tail.
Yeah.
Like Super Mario World 3D. Yes. Let me see. Yeah, Super Mario 3D World.
I don't think that was a.
Sorry, 3D Land.
Yeah, it wasn't a It wasn't like an open world platformer though. It was a. That was when everything on the 3DS was called 3D to emphasize the fact that you could play it in 3D.
So Super Mario 3D Land was a 3D environment.
Was it? Was it really?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, no, wait, I did play this. That's right. I did play this. That's right. I don't really count this one though because it wasn't.
Oh, it's so good.
It is. It is, but to me, it's still the same. Like, it's basically just like they added 3D to an old Super Mario Brothers game. Like, they took it and made it.
Like 3D Super Mario World or something.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's like when they made it. It's like Sonic Generations in a way to me. It's like, oh, it's the same thing, just in a
And
now.
To be fair, Odyssey is a lot like 3D Land. It's just on a bigger scale.
Yeah, but it's not. It's because even the worlds in 3D Land are just like they're Mario Land worlds. They're not, because Sunshine was different stuff. Super Mario 64 was different stuff. Galaxy was different stuff.
That's true. And this one's very different every world we go to. So you're absolutely right.
Right. That's what I mean by that.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Well, yeah, man. Well, I hope you get one soon because fucking A, so many good games on
there's so much. There really is, and it just.
Yeah.
But,
sell a
anyway,
kidney.
Yeah, don't tempt me. And then at the towards the end of this, they announced a new character, and as soon as they were like, and as soon as they started showing Isabelle from Animal Crossing, I was like, oh, that's the new one.
How's it not Tom Nook?
I don't know, man.
KK Slider.
I don't know, man. But hey, cool. There's somebody from Animal Crossing in it, which tied into. Oh, by the way, Animal Crossing Switch 2019. Because of course there was going to be. That was another no-brainer.
Oh yeah. I hated how this dragged on because I can't stand the Animal Crossing voices.
Oh god, that was the biggest reason why I stayed away from them was because I can't do that.
I love the games, but if you think too much about them, they are just so repetitive.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so incredibly okay, I'll go do all of this today. What sucked about it is it was a game that you could not play anymore. Have you so you've never played Animal Crossing, right?
No.
The way Animal Crossing works, imagine you know those applications on your phone where you can only do a certain amount of things,
right?
And then it's locked off for 8 hours, but you could pay to continue.
Yeah.
It's that without the ability to pay to continue.
So you can do a bunch of stuff and then you have to let the clock run down for however long.
The clock run down. You have to wait until the next day.
Oh, that would drive
you can do a certain amount of things in one day, and then you have to go to bed, and then that's it. Now, remember Stardew Valley?
Yeah, it was
how popular that was
because it didn't have that mechanic, did it?
Exactly. Yeah, Stardew Valley made it so that you could do all this stuff in one day, and then you could just go to sleep, and then the next day starts. And then I remember when that happened, and I was like, oh my god, I've never stopped playing this game, because now it's just Animal Crossing forever. And it was so awesome. People loved that about Stardew Valley. I imagine the next game, they will have to do that, because I can't imagine Nintendo sees Stardew Valley and all the stuff that Stardew Valley did.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing is just, it's shit compared to that. The great thing about Animal Crossing was how cute the characters are and stuff like that, just how Nintendo it is. So if they could do a quarter of what Stardew Valley did, then they'll be fine. But I can't imagine they're looking at that going we need it. I imagine they have to be looking at that going, we have to step our game up, because that is just there's ghosts and there's all sorts of there's seasons and all this sorts of stuff in it. Well, I guess there was seasons of Animal Crossing, but I don't know. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway. Yeah. So Isabelle was announced, and then they announced a new title in 2019. Tom Nook needs to be in that game. He's great.
He'll be an assist trophy probably.
Oh yeah, or a shadow character.
Could be.
Possibly. But yeah. So I don't know. I'm sure we'll get another direct about.
You are clinging to every every board that floats by, man.
They gotta have Goku. They gotta have him.
It's not gonna happen.
I want him to fly by in the cloud. No, it'd be great.
Not gonna happen.
But anyway. We've talked about the Predator. You want to talk about WWE before we get out of here?
Yeah, man. What did you think about Hell in a Cell overall this weekend?
I enjoyed almost all of it.
It was a good,
except for the end.
I agree. And I'm not gonna let that take away from the rest of the show, because the rest of the show was so good. The pre-show match was great because the New Day just can't put on a bad match. I think they forgot how.
Mm-hmm.
And it was
they're so good.
They're ridiculously good. And it was and it ran a decent length for a pre-show match. It was 9-10 minutes, something like that. So it's good match. And then they opened with a Hell in a Cell match, and it was and it was good to have Orton and Hardy in the cell, and I'm never gonna get that out of my head.
I never want to see that again.
I'm never gonna get that out of my head, and I
don't get why they did that. Like,
because he's evil, and it was great character work. I have no, like, I understand why they did it, and I like the fact that it made me uncomfortable, because it should have, because that's the character he's going for, and I'm okay with that. It just, it was terrible to watch. Oh, it's awful.
I don't know, when they do that, like, stuff, it reminds me very much of, like, ECW, and that is far and away the stuff that I do not care about.
It worked for the character. Had it just been like
wrestling to me, I don't know.
Had it just been a random thing, had this been Randy Orton and Jeff Hardy, and he suddenly today decided he was going to do that, it wouldn't have made any sense. It would have just been stupid. But they have built to something like that, and I'm okay with that. Like, that's the character. That's the evil, just genuinely evil person he's worked himself into. So I'm okay. I was okay with that.
That was funny when the camera got really close, and I'm sure Jeff should not have said this, but he's like, "Just do it."
Yeah.
He's telling him to just do it.
Oh God. Ugh. Something, like, something great to have on your PG product.
Yeah, when it's extreme to just be extreme, I don't like it.
I don't see. I think that if they had done that without any of the previous build up to it, I think that would have been extreme just to be extreme. I think that this made sense. This was the ramp up of what was already tremendously uncomfortable to begin with. But that was the point. And I don't mind it. I mean, I mind having seen it, but I get why they did it, and it worked.
I guess everyone's expecting him to jump off the top, right?
Yeah, but he found a different way to do that. So and that
broke his face.
Yeah, that bump was nasty. Like that. Was, But again, kudos to Randy and his character work, being like, he's hurt, Randy's hurt. So what? Can't do your job. Like those.
Well, I think he said, like, we're always hurt.
Yeah. And I like that, though. I like and especially since and that's why the end of the show pissed me off so much more, because Randy was being like, we get hurt. That's what this is. That's what happens. It doesn't matter. There still has to be a fall. And then at the end, when they just threw that out the window, like, that pissed me off so much. But good match, good, solid, just horrifying match. And then followed up with a match that I was really looking forward to and was not expecting to go how it did. I did not think the SmackDown Women's Title match was gonna end. First off, I didn't think it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be more a fight than a wrestling match. But I understood the psychology. I liked the storytelling. And for Becky to out-wrestle Charlotte to beat her, I thought was just the cherry on top of the cake. It was fantastic. And then for Charlotte to try to say, I'm going to raise your hand now, and Becky just go, no, you're not going to take my moment. I like that, because I like what she's doing with her character, and I hate the fact that they're supposed to be like, no, you don't like Becky.
They took her signs away, apparently.
Yeah, and WWE does that from time to time, and it's just like, and I love that Becky tweeted the story, and hashtagged it, I boo the woo. Like, I loved it. I'm like, that's just pristine character work. That's fantastic. But I love the and I haven't seen SmackDown for this week, so I don't know what all has gone down there, but I was excited to see Becky win and to out wrestle Charlotte to do it. I thought it was just a fantastic touch.
Oh yeah, I agree.
And then we had the Raw Tag Team Title match, which, I mean, it was a hell of a match, and the ending was just magnificent.
Yeah, I agree.
The time, and I know, like, everybody's saying the same thing, but really the timing from Drew on that Claymore was just, that was that was fantastic.
It was perfect.
But a good match and the right result. You know, they needed to retain.
Yeah.
And then the match that for some reason wasn't inside the cell, even though, you know, this one should have been in the cell. You know, Styles and Samoa Joe should absolutely have been inside a cell.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But you know, whatever. They made the most of it. They had a really solid match, and ended in a way that plays into them having like 4 more title matches before AJ loses at Survivor Series, which is probably what's going to happen. And I'm fine with that because Joe, it was great because I like the fact that we didn't see it at first. I actually like that the way, you know, and Joe, you know, they ring the bell and Joe gets up and he's celebratory and then finds out he didn't win and he's freaking out. And we're all thinking, why in hell, why does Joe think he's won? I don't get it.
Right.
Has he just completely snapped? Like, has he gone totally crazy? And then finally they show the other angle and you're like, oh.
Oh, yeah, you tap.
And I love that when they showed Styles after the bell and everything, even he looked like...
what's going on?
Yeah, even he looked like, okay, they missed it. I survived. I get out of here with this title. He wasn't the celebratory champ. And I like that. That was great character work, too. But,
yeah,
you know, and then you get to the cluster that was the mixed tag match because Maurice and Bree can't wrestle. And I just, it was terrible. Like, that was just, it was, you know, Miz and Bryan carried that whole match. And then at the end, Maurice and Bree screwed it up. Like, it's bad. But I don't know. I know we're gonna see more of this feud, and I'm just whatever. Not a fan.
I think Miz and Bryan are gonna be at what? Where was it? Where are they gonna fight?
Oh, is it this? Are they gonna be at the Super Showdown?
Saudi Arabia. Yeah.
Oh no,
the Super Show. The Super Show. That's
God. That's right. Because there's Super Showdown, and then there's Evolution, and then there's Crown Jewel now at Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
So it's all right. Whatever. And when is Crown Jewel?
November, right?
Yeah, but I need to see exactly when in November. Super Showdown is because Evolution is October 28th. Yes. Crown Jewel is November what? November 2nd. So, okay. So the Raw that I'm going to be at on the 29th is going to be the day after Evolution and like a handful of days before Crown Jewel.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Okay. God, this is just so weird now with all this extra stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, fine, whatever. Anyway, we had the Raw... What did you think of the Raw Women's Championship match?
I loved it.
Rousey has mastered what it is to sell. She sells like nobody else.
Yeah.
And she does what nobody else does that drives me crazy. How many times in a match does Seth Rollins have his knee worked on for the whole match, and he spends the whole match hobbling around up until the last 2 minutes when he forgets his knee's hurt?
Yeah.
Ronda didn't do that. She sold those ribs the entire match start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
And it was perfect. She has got the psychology and storytelling down cold. Her ring work only gets better every time she's in it.
Yeah.
And this
I think a big part of that is because of Alexa.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, no question.
She really brings it out.
Yeah. And this is the way. I know some people were bummed, like, oh, Ronda's first, singles match, she gets the title right away. Of course she does. It's Ronda Rousey. But with every defense, the first one notwithstanding, well, this was the first one. I'm thinking of when she beat Alexa.
I think it's a big part of why Charlotte is just got the title taken off of her.
I think
they're
so
eventually going to put them together.
That's one that I
can see Alexa going after Becky now because that's who she got the title from originally.
Yeah. But I can't wait to see Rousey and Charlotte because that's going to be a match. That's going to be a hell of a match.
Absolutely.
But this one was good. I enjoyed it. I seeing Ronda continue to improve is always great. And if she decides like she's gonna be with WWE for a long time, and not just, I know she's committed through her contract. Like, she's made sure, like, oh yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna be here, and she does the house shows and a whole bit. But if she sticks with it for a long time, she's gonna be just extraordinary.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the crossover it was so perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then. I'll give him this. Roman and Braun put on a decent Hell in a Cell match. It was a good match. It was an enjoyable match. And then you had the outside interference stuff, which
I've never seen someone that size, Braun, move that fast and keep up for that long. I mean, match was 25 minutes or something.
About that, yeah.
And a lot of it was in laying down, but still, you never saw the Big Show do anything like this. You never saw these big guys do what he's doing.
No, his cardio is insane.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous. Like, he doesn't blow up. It's nuts. And then they were both down so that the outside shenanigans could be outside shenanigans, and that's fine, whatever. Dolph and Seth got to go through the announce tables. We had the big spot. Hooray, huzzah. And I'll tell you what, man, I flipped out the same as anybody else when Lesnar's music hit.
Oh, yeah.
I loved this moment. I loved him. Yeah, and I loved him coming down to the ring and just kicking the door off the cell and coming in and cleaning house. That part I loved. I had no problem with any of that. Beating them with pieces of the table, the F5s, the whole thing. I loved all of that. The thing that ruined it was because it was the exact opposite of what Randy Orton had said at the beginning of the show.
Oh, yeah.
We're always hurt. Do your job. They come in after Brock hits these guys with a piece of table a couple times, hits each of them with one F5, and the next referee that comes down is like, nope, no contest. This match is over. These guys can't continue. Bull.
It's so simple, and they had it too, actually, because Braun was on his back.
Yeah.
He F5'd Roman on top of Braun.
Yeah.
They should have just had count 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, and then
now I would have loved Braun to win, but that would have made sense.
I would have been totally okay with like, oh, and this is how it happened, and I was fine. I would have been
getting screwed over again, knowing that he could have beat him, but some shenanigans happened.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. But they decided like, nope, there's no winner, not in a Hell in a Cell match. You don't do this crap. Like, it's ridiculous.
Like, didn't Mick Foley, didn't he fall off the cage, the Hell in a Cell?
Yeah,
get
twice.
Carted off, and then come back and climb up again?
And then get thrown through.
Or did he get thrown through first?
He was thrown. No, what happened with Foley? All right. So way back at King of the Ring, the legendary fall, the oh my god they've killed him moment. He gets thrown off the top of the cell through the announce table, and they're like, well, that's done. And they cart him off. He gets off the stretcher, dislocated shoulder and all, climbs up the other side of the cell. Undertaker chokeslams him, supposed to be onto the cell. The cell panel gives, and he goes through.
Yeah.
That was not supposed to happen. And he hits that ring like concrete. That's when the chair came down and hit him in the face, and that's how he got the tooth through the nose and everything. That was not supposed to happen. So he's concussed, he's got a tooth in his nose, he's got a dislocated shoulder. He gets up and continues the match, takes shots with those steel steps into his dislocated shoulder, goes flying from the ring into the cell, takes the chokeslam on the thumbtacks, takes the tombstone, and then it's over. But, I mean, these guys beat each other with a chair a couple of times. One goes through a table, and then somebody comes out and hits him with pieces of that table, hits him with one finisher apiece, and that's the end of it?
Yeah.
What a bunch
hit him with steps, but yeah, it's
but
so basic.
What a pair of wusses. What a pair of actual legitimate... Like, that's my problem with that, is that moment did a lot of damage to the aura of the cell. Like, oh, you know what's tougher than the Hell in a Cell? One F5 from Brock Lesnar.
But they made the cell red.
I liked that.
I know, I thought it was cool.
I liked it, and I didn't have a problem watching it either. Like, I don't know what it was like live, but I know watching it, like, I didn't have a problem. It wasn't distracting.
Yeah.
But I didn't mind the interference. I liked the run-in. I liked here's pissed-off bearded Brock who's just going to come out and wreck house and leave. Fine. Then they called the match. That's the part that I hated.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Otherwise, like, everything up to that point had been a good show. And I'm not going to let that call ruin the whole thing for me, because it was a good show. And that's, like, the card on paper was not impressive. Really.
No, I thought it was.
Some of it.
I thought the card was great.
But, I mean, it turned out to be incredible. You know, I mean, Rousey Bliss was always going to be good.
Reigns, Braun, I mean, they have arguably the best feud going on in the last few years.
That's true. That's true.
It's been entertaining, and I hate Roman, but I have to admit, like, that he has brought Braun up to the status he is. He's a big part of it.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, you know, when Braun grabs somebody who's Roman's size and tosses him around, like, that, it just helps the aura.
Absolutely.
Like, it's easy for, like, the AOP on Raw to grab two local talents who probably weigh 150 pounds each and sling them around.
Who's that guy flying around on Raw?
Lio Rush.
Yeah. What's his deal?
He's, okay.
I only saw a clip, so I didn't see the whole thing. I just saw him jumping around. That's it.
He was big on the independents. He came to NXT, and I guess he did some stuff on NXT. And then when they and then he was on 205 Live for a hot minute. And then he came to the main roster basically as Bobby Lashley's mouthpiece.
Okay.
Which is fine. I was never a big Lio Rush fan. But, you know, he's also not doing that great as Bobby Lashley's mouthpiece. Like, his promo timing is bad. The way he delivered, he had a line this week which was, you know, because Elias was in the ring and he ran Leo down for a second. He's like, all right, yeah, he said you were funny. He said you had jokes, or like he said you were a joke or something like that. I don't remember. And I'm like, that's not how you deliver that line.
Wow.
It's just not, because he just kind of threw it away. Like, that's not, oh yeah, he said you had jokes. Oh no, wait, hang on. No, he said you are a joke. And then you just let it flat for a second, and then you carry on. Like, you have to have that pause. But I don't know. I hope he gets better, you know, because Bobby needs a manager. Bobby is not great on the mic. I like Bobby, I do, but he is not good at promos. It's just not his bag. So Leo, I loved when Lio Rush showed up like last week, and Bobby's in the back lifting weights, and there's Leo coaching him on, and everybody's like, do all the big guys get a pet cruiserweight now? Like, I'm serious. Like, Bobby has Lio Rush, AOP has Drake Maverick. Like,
why do they AOP have that guy? I saw that.
Because Paul Ellering, their original manager, can't do the travel schedule. He's too old. It's too hard on him.
But why is he specifically doing that?
I guess because they drew names out of a hat, and his was the one they picked.
I thought he was running 205 Live.
He is.
So I don't get it. Why he just shows up one day?
Yeah, that was what happened. Like, he was just there, and yeah, no, I'm not kidding. Like one random Raw, it was like, oh, and Drake Maverick is now managing AOP. Okay, like and like he's wearing the vest and everything too.
Yeah,
like they do.
Hilarious.
I'm like, all right, whatever, the hell. And I love when they won. Like he's gonna lift their arms up. But, of course, he's like 3 feet shorter than they are. So, like, he's standing on his tiptoes, reaching their elbows, like, pushing their arms. I'm not even joking. It's the funniest damn thing. It's so hysterical.
Yeah, it's great.
But, you know, it's whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. It's alright. It's whatever it is. Especially since they're moving 205 Live to Wednesdays now, which is a good choice.
Yeah.
So that way you have 205 Live and NXT probably airing back to back.
Hey, that's perfect.
Yeah, and I'm good with that. I'm totally good with that. That's 2 hours I'll spend. Absolutely. I want to see for Survivor Series, and I know they'll never do this because why would they? I want to see NXT invade. I want to see every NXT champ. Like, I want to see, like, them have a big thing on Raw, like, 3 or 4 weeks before Survivor Series or whatever. And I want to see, like, here's all the Raw champions and all the SmackDown champions, the 4 different champions. And it's like, they're all going to have singles matches. The women's champs will face each other, tag champs, the mid-card champs, and the main champs. They're all going to face each other, and they're going to fight for brand supremacy in the WWE between these 2 big brands, these 2 names. And I want them to emphasize, like, you have 2 brands. There's these 2 brands. And which one of these 2 is the better brand? And I want, like, during each match, the corresponding NXT champ to run out and just beat the crap out of whichever champ is in the ring. Like, I just want to see it on that Raw. I want to be like, oh, and here's this match, and the Raw Women's Champ is at ring, Rousey's at ringside, and whoever at the time is NXT champ just jumps the barricade and ambushes her. The Ziggler and McIntyre are in the ring, and so if War Raiders are probably going to be NXT tag champs by then, they come out and just decimate them. I want to see that. And as a follow-up to that, I would love to see... I almost kind of want it to be like, okay, all the NXT champs are added to the matches at Survivor Series, but we can't get, Triple H won't allow the NXT guys to compete in the traditional Survivor Series match. So it's still just 5 Raw and 5 SmackDown. Because he won't let NXT compete because, hey, what if they beat the Raw guys? Then that makes for a tough dinner at home.
Right.
So I want it to be like on NXT, have the champion or have William Regal, either of them, like always on the phone to somebody, and you never know who, and you're not sure what's going on, and then at Survivor Series, one of the 2 of them comes out, either the champ or William Regal comes out and says, look, we couldn't get anyone from NXT here. I've been on the phone. I've been talking to people. I even tried to get some of the crew from 205 Live to show up, but they said they didn't want any part of this. But Orlando isn't the only place that has NXT. And have 5 of the NXT UK guys come out and be in that match.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I would love the hell out of that. They'll never do it. They'll never have like an NXT invasion of any show, even though Survivor Series should be the time they do it. But I would love this. I would kill to see like an NXT uprising. And I would love for the show to end with just a massive melee and somebody left from the NXT team being like the sole survivor of the whole match. Like, make it the Velveteen Dream. Like, he pins, I don't care who is in the ring, to win to be the last one standing in the match. Like that, I would love that, but it'll never happen.
There should be stakes to it. Like, there should be something with Survivor Series should lead into, like, the next big one is the Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah, the next of the big ones, yeah.
What if they did it where, like, the winner, I don't know, Raw and SmackDown, there should be some prize for whoever wins.
I agree.
That has to tie into Royal Rumble.
I absolutely agree. Like, the winner, whoever,
like, whoever wins gets, like, top 5 to be called as one of the last 5 numbers or something.
Right. Or if you're, like,
guaranteed.
These are the numbers up for grabs, and it starts at 30. You have you have 26 through 30 available, and however many people are left on the winning team, and let it work backwards. 20. You've got 2 survivors left on your team. They get to be number 29 and 30. Like that.
I like the idea of still being surprised about who's coming out.
Fair. So okay.
So that's why I was saying, like, top 10 or whatever. Like whoever, like, say for example, if Raw wins, Raw will get more of their roster added to the top 10 or something like that. Because they gotta be fighting for something. It's kind of like how isn't it the what is it baseball or is it basketball that whoever wins the is it baseball?
Oh, you're talking about like the All-Star game. Yeah.
The All-Star game.
Yeah, the division that wins the All-Star game, whatever team wins that division at the end of the postseason gets home field advantage for the World Series. Yeah, something.
Exactly. It should be something like that.
Oh, no, absolutely. It should have stakes other than just, my team won. Like, nobody cares. Nobody really
start caring a few months prior to it.
Yeah. No, it should absolutely have stakes. It should be something with the Royal Rumble, or if they're going to do like another superstar shakeup, it should be however, I like the idea of like however many, not only do you get first pick, but you get a bonus pick for every surviving member of your team.
Perfect.
I would love that, Like that's something like that. You're absolutely right. There should be stakes.
That'd be great.
There should absolutely be stakes. But, again, look who we're dealing with here.
Right. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. It's like because last year Team Raw won. Who cares? That meant nothing after like a month. Nobody cared. Like it doesn't matter. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the last one was with Braun and Triple H, right?
Yeah, and it was like,
such a dumb ending.
Yeah.
And it was like Braun going, "Don't ever do that again." Like that was it.
Yeah.
So dumb. Braun was great in that last fight. All the things he was saying. Stay down, moron.
Yeah.
Yelling things.
What?
Count to 3.
That was great because that got to be, and they played that so well. Of Mick, just saying like, no, he kicked out at 2. I just, I couldn't stop my hand in time, but I didn't count to 3. You counted 3. It's like I loved it. Like it was great character work. They took what was clearly a mistake and they played on it, and they played on it in a way that worked, and I love that.
Oh yeah.
But
I don't know. We gotta get out of here. We're gone over.
Yeah, a little bit.
But make sure you go to our Facebook group, We Geek Podcast, or Twitter at We Geek Podcast, at Adam at the Logan Witt, or go to our Gmail. Shoot us an email, wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel as well. Is there anything I'm missing? Who knows? Maybe next week I will have a PlayStation and be able to play Spider-Man.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. But if not, I'm sure I'll play some more Warcraft or something like that. I want to go see Predators. So, but yeah, we'll be back next week, Captain.